thanks for tuning in to Power Athlete Radio. Everyone wants to be Reynolds Strong. It's the kind of strong that can only come from years of training powerlifting, strongman, and working alongside Mark Rippetoe. The stories and life lessons are aplenty in this week's episode with Coach Matt Reynolds. Several of them actually had to be cut because, of course, we are a family show. Still, there's plenty of meaty goodness on the bone. The guys discuss how you can still make massive gains if you're over 40, what it's like to run your own business, and election politics. Matt is the kind of guy you want to lift with. He's humble, smart, beastly, and down to earth. And he's at a point in his coaching career where he realizes not everyone lifts to get strong. It's a mind-blowing realization that any lifelong coach can relate to. When we want more for our athletes than they want for themselves, we only set ourselves up for disappointment. Get an inside look at the Starting Strength Seminar and why only about 5% of the athletes receive recognition for the course. Why does Rip hold the bar so high? And when is he going to retire and start selling cured meats at his local farmer's market? This is episode 168.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time again for the premier podcast in strength and conditioning.
Believe it.
Believe it, because that phrase once was a goal, but now has become a reality. It's been confirmed by third parties in the flesh. Tex, you recall people saying that at the CrossFit Games?
You got proof on Snapchat.
So it's been confirmed. You were listening to the premier podcast in strength conditioning. You got me, Luke. You got Tex sitting next to me, and John's across from me here at Power Athlete HQ. And who do we have on the show today? We have Mr. Matt Reynolds. Matt has worked with Rip and has been regaling us with some awesome Rip stories, has been in the strength game, strong dude, and has a lot to say about running a strength business and going from brick and mortar to online business type stuff, similar to kind of the same path that John has been. So, Matt, what's up, man? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, what's up, guys? Thanks for having me on the show, man. I'm excited. I've been listening to you guys for a long time, so it's definitely an honor to be on. So, yeah, I guess if you want, I can give you a little bit of my background, kind of how I got in this game. I've been doing this for about 20 years. I'm pushing 40 at this point. I was, unlike John, I was a painfully average athlete in high school, and I was really competitive, played a lot of sports, but I wasn't great at any of them. I was kind of always one of those guys who was like the last starter on the team, and it was more because I worked hard. And there were always, 2 or 3 guys on the bench that were probably better than me. And so very competitive, got into college, wasn't good enough to play college sports, and desperately needed an out for that, for competition. And so found weightlifting, found strength and conditioning. I remember in, I think 2000, somewhere in there, I found an article that Dave Tate wrote for T-Nation at the time called How to Bench Press 600 Pounds. And I didn't know that I actually thought there were probably 3 or 4 people in the universe that could bench press 400 pounds. I didn't know that anybody had bench pressed 500 or 600 pounds. And so read that article, and it was basically about the sport of powerlifting, and fell in love with that and started to powerlift and got competitive in it, and had a place to, take my competitive out. And so, wasn't very good at that in the beginning. And again, because I wasn't a great athlete, but just kept digging in and loving it. Loved the fact that strength was so quantifiable. If you squat more than this week than you did last week, you're stronger. And so slowly got stronger, and I totaled elite in powerlifting in 3 different weight classes. I think the first time I totaled elite was maybe 2003 or so, somewhere in that ballpark. And turned my attention in 2005 to strongman. Started competing in the sport of strongman in 2005, and then won my pro card in strongman in 2006. Actually, at the same show that Brian Shaw won his. We were the 2 pros that won. He went on to become the world's strongest man, and I went on to run a gym. And so, anyway, whatever.
You're also not 6'8", 450 pounds.
Yeah, right? I knew in a hurry that I was in this weird no man's land for strongman. So I saw these guys, and I was decently strong, and I was a good deadlifter. I deadlifts over 700 pounds and have for years, and man, then all of a sudden these guys, you see them. If you haven't seen some of these world's strongest man competitors, it's, John, you think about, like, you've been around these guys that are, in football and strength sports for years. And when you're around them all the time, it's pretty rare to actually see somebody that impresses you with their stature at this point. We see guys that are 6'2", 6'3", 330, 340 all the time. It's just not that they're kind of dime a dozen. But when you see somebody that's 6'8", 440, that's another level. I mean, you go like, how am I supposed to compete against that? That's just you can't compete against. So anyway, I tell people that I went from being one of the best amateurs in the country to the worst pro in the country in strongman. That's kind of the way strongman works. You go from being the jump is tremendous from amateur level to pro level. And so competed on the pro circuit for about 3 years. And then in that process, I started Strong Gym. We just needed a place to train. I mean, when you do strongman, you can't do that anywhere. So even kind of more of the warehouse type stuff. And of course, this is in the 2007, 2008 CrossFit, especially in the Midwest, had not really blown up at all yet. So there really was almost nothing there. And so there just wasn't a place to train for us. And so we needed a place where we could do stones and flip tires and that kind of stuff. So we started building it.
That stuff wasn't around. I mean, like I tell these guys stories, dude. I had to drive 30 minutes to find bumper plates.
Yeah,
it was crazy. I drove an hour up to Carson every day just to go train because it was the only place that actually had any type of equipment. And now, you can't swing a dead cat without hearing somebody being an Olympic lifting coach.
Yeah, which is great. I mean, it's fine. Obviously, that at some level, the market has been saturated on some level there. But at the same time, I would way rather have the fact that I live in a town with 200,000 people and we have 13 CrossFits is a little bit crazy. But at the same time, there's 13 gyms that have bumper plates and normal barbells and good squat racks. And so we owe a lot to the CrossFit movement for sure there in the strength world. Those of us who are even more in that kind of powerlifting strongman background, I think it's, there's a lot of times those sports kind of seem to butt heads, but I think the reality is that we owe a lot to that movement. It's exposed a lot of people to barbell-based training. And what will happen a lot of times is people fall in love with barbell-based training and love CrossFit for 6 months or a year and eventually move on and decide, I really want to get strong. And so they move on and they continue to do that. So I did that. We started the gym, and the gym was just a piece of crap, giant warehouse, no heat, no air conditioning, barely a bathroom. And wasn't really supposed to be a gym. It wasn't a business. It wasn't a delusion of grandeur. It was just a place to train. We had outgrown the 2-car garage after a few years and moved in. And so people started showing up and it started to grow. I was a teacher at the time, was getting my master's and a football coach, high school football coach, getting my master's to be a principal, and thought that was going to be the route my life would take. And the gym just started growing just accidentally. And pretty quickly, I'm very business-minded. I just didn't think a strength training gym could be profitable. I really didn't. And so when we started seeing that was potential there, I guess, to make money, we started to back up and say, okay, we've got to do this right. And so let's incorporate, let's get insurance and all that kind of stuff, and started laying out business plans. And we kind of went full bore into, I think that we might be able to make this work. And so I read every book I could get my hands on in business and really did what we could. And by in January of 2013, we opened up it was our third location. We opened up a 15,000 square foot in retail space, downtown hub, owned our building, and grew that gym to over 1,000 members. And it was a pure strength gym. Now we had a CrossFit affiliate there. The CrossFit made up probably 20% of our membership or so. So it wasn't a bulk of our membership. It was just mostly business professionals and soccer moms and college kids who just wanted to get strong. And so we were a gym. It was called Strong Gym, and grew it and got it really big, and it was great. And then I actually sold it in December of last year of 2015. And so I've coached for years. I've coached for Rip since 2009. Or early January, maybe January 2010, took my seminar in 2009, and then coached for him since 2010. And I've done maybe 75 or 80 seminars with Rip since then. And so it's a blast. So I get to travel all over the world and teach about starting strength. And I'm a big believer in starting strength for just basic barbell training for normal people. Again, the majority of the demographic that we teach is kind of that standard middle-aged business professional soccer mom. I think that stuff works great. I think a lot of the physics stuff that we do works for everybody, but as far as like the basic programming works perfect for you take a 40-year-old detrained fat guy, and starting strength works really well for him. And so I teach that all over the world with Rip, and have developed a great friendship with Mark Rippetoe since then, and the starting strength crew, and sold the gym. I train now. I'm a full-time online coach, and I've got about 150 clients, and really learned how to scale that. And so it's gone extremely well. So it's kind of a snapshot of me.
Matt, I want to go back a little bit just out of curiosity, and this isn't to dissuade anybody listening whose dream is to run a gym, but why did you decide to sell the brick and mortar and go online?
It was a shitty situation. It's just, listen, that never goes well, right? So the reality is that I sold actually to so I had two other business partners, and one of the business partners wanted to buy us out. So his family had a bunch of money, and I think it was just a time where the direction of the gym, I was continuing to push towards more strength training and didn't want to globo out the gym. I think he had a little bit different viewpoint. And so they made an offer, and at first we absolutely were against that, but the offer was such that financially it was hard to turn down. So, it was a situation that, was difficult. I mean, that for about 2 months, I thought I was going to have a stroke every day. You've taken all this time to build up your baby. I mean, we had an incredible gym. We had over 100 guys that deadlifted over 500 pounds. I mean, that's a lot. I don't know how many gyms, and we had, I think, maybe 16 or 17 guys that deadlifted over 700 pounds. We had close to 100 women that deadlifted 300 pounds. I mean, that's big time. And I'm not talking about competitive powerlifters. I mean, I am for the 700-pound deadlifters, but I'm just talking about normal people that just showed up and trained every day, and we just got them strong. And so I would love to take credit for all that. The reality is that the atmosphere in the gym, when that strength standard is there and you've got 5 or 6 girls that are pulling 400 and 100 other girls pulling 300, and you pull 300 pounds as a female, and congratulations, you can't even get on your name on the board because you're number 105. That's a hell of a strength standard, right? And so I think that's, again, probably one of the problems that we see in CrossFit. So, yeah, we grew it. It was great. There was enough, business is tough, and had a business partner that wanted to buy us out. We weren't entirely excited about selling, but in the end, it was the right move to make. Obviously, there's still some emotional stuff there, but the reality is I look back and go, man, it was the best decision. I think that gym is doing well. I think he's doing well, and the 2 of us that got bought out from him are doing incredible and love life. So it's tough. It's you basically owning your own business is a 70-hour a week job. You work your ass off all the time for not a lot of money. And then eventually you get to the point that it's profitable, and you either then start to step out and hire in people to help run. You can't work 70 hours a week for the rest of your life. You can do it for 2 or 3 years because it's yours, but you can't do it forever. And so then you either hire it out and let other people do it, or you start looking at, okay, we make this thing as profitable as we can so that we can sell it at some point and actually get out and do something different. So that was the route we went, and it's worked out really well.
Yeah, I mean, it just sounds like we had a slightly different trajectory. We never hit the 1,000 member mark or anything like that. But
at one point in our gym, we just ran into an interesting thing where we had people, and I think it might be demographics where we live.
Sure.
You live in Orange County, Newport Beach. The one thing on people's minds, the one thing that is not on people's minds is getting strong.
Sure.
You can get fit. You want to get tone.
Well, it's almost like it's just doing enough to get by.
Sure.
That's because everybody's so busy.
Yeah.
They have no busy, or they're so busy that they don't have time to commit to anything. And getting strong actually involves it's a commitment. Like, hey, okay, if somebody walked in and said, I want to get strong, how long is it going to take? You're like, a lifetime.
Yeah.
As strong as you think you are, you'll never be strong enough.
Yep.
But wait a minute, I can be fit in about 6 weeks. I'm on fitness. So we also really ran into that. So, for me, especially owning a gym, I was excited to have people come in and get strong and want to bang weights. And literally I'd be like, oh, I don't want to lift weights. I don't want to get bulky.
Yeah, sure.
And even the guys were saying that. And what's crazy is we have friends like you that have these gyms where people walk in and they're like, fuck, I want to deadlift 500 pounds. I want to deadlift 600 pounds. I had people that came in that are like, I don't want to put 135 pounds anymore. Sure. And so, and then you're like, well, then why are you here? Well, my friend said I really like it. And you're like, it's like, you don't even fucking train. I do this for a living. I own the gym, and you want to tell me what to do. And that is where we live in Orange County, Newport Beach, the most high maintenance place on the world, where I'm rich. And because I'm rich, I know everything and I have money, and therefore, fuck you, I'm going to tell you what I want. And so,
it's a business. So you tolerate those personality types, but then as you try to shift the culture, it just becomes almost impossible. And I think that's where, we pushed for so long, and it was just kind of like we started pushing ourselves away, because the barrier just got bigger and bigger, and then found ourselves going to a similar route that you did, Matt. And we're like, man, who we need is we're in constant contact with people over the internet who we're like, okay, go chew on some glass, jump off a 4-story building, and let us know how it goes. I'm like, all right, I'll email you in a second.
I'm in.
Fucking do anything. And it's like, let's work with these people,
Well, you almost want to work with the people that have the similar ideals that you have. Sure. And oddly enough, the brick and mortar situation for us just wasn't doing it. And I literally felt like every day I walked into the brick and mortar, having to teach people kettlebells and box jumps, that a little piece of me died. And finally, for my own deal, I just pulled myself out. And at that point, we made the decision to shut it down or sell it. And so I ended up selling it to one of my trainers. And we ended up taking Power Athlete and basically doing the same thing. And, you know, we have a few thousand people that we're able to handle and work with, and, you know, multiple programs and coaches. And, dude, literally people will run through fucking sheets of glass for us.
Sure.
All of their stuff is, I want to be a better athlete. I want to be more explosive. I want to be stronger. I want to be, you know, all these things. That what was ironic is that we have an easier time convincing other people outside of our bubble to do this than people that would actually physically come and train with us.
Sure.
And so at that point, you're like, I got to get the fuck out of this thing.
Right. I think a distinction has to be made here. So there's a couple issues here. One is that for us at Strong, we started as a strength gym, right? We started as a gym for powerlifters and strongmen, and we eventually grew it into bringing in general population people. But what most kind of CrossFit gyms or fitness level gyms do is they start with general pop, and then they try to steer them towards strength, right? And I think that's probably, from a business perspective, if you have to make money the first 6 months or the first year, that's the only way you can do it. But for us, we really lucked out because in the beginning, I was a teacher. My business partner was in the Navy. We made enough money outside the gym that we didn't have to take $1 from the gym. So we were able to grow the gym as a strength community first, and then eventually make it nicer facility, cleaner, better customer service, and attract those business professionals and soccer moms. But the atmosphere had already been laid that this is a strength training gym. This isn't a place where people are trying to get fit, and then we're trying to steer you towards strength. So that's real important. And then the other thing is this: we're in the Midwest, right? We're not, I mean, the middle of nowhere, Springfield, Missouri. There's not a lot of cool stuff to do around here. The town is great. It's a upper middle class town. It's 250,000 people. There's actually about 500,000 people in the metro, and all 500,000 people were within 15 minutes of our gym. So now we're the only gym in the area that's a strength-based gym, around 500,000 people, and that's where you're going to go. I mean, if you want to learn how to squat, you want to learn how to deadlift, you're going to go here, right? And so now the other issue there with you guys is your demographic is such that all you have is this Southern California demographic. Now that you branch into online, what's the potential talent pool there? I mean, it's infinite, right? So I'm sure you guys are like me. I've got guys from Saudi Arabia. I've got guys from China. I've got people in Kuwait, and like they could never do this. And so that's what I love about online coaching is that, online coaching is a sensitive topic. It's a sensitive topic with Rip. You know, Rippetoe is very much about coaching, and I think for us, one of the things that we distinguish in what I do versus a lot of online, what I would probably call programmers over coaches, is that people pay for a template. They pay for a workout, right? And there's nothing wrong with that at all. For a lot of people that have done this for a long time, their form is where it needs to be. That's fine. For me, one of the things I try to do is I watch YouTube videos of every client I have, every single workout. So I watch over 1,000 YouTube videos a week of my clients squatting and deadlifting and benching and pressing and power cleaning, those sort of things. And so I'm able to actually, well, here's the deal. If you're in Saudi Arabia, there's not a starting strength coach. There's not a good strength coach in Saudi Arabia. You don't have anybody to coach you. So this is the best option for this guy. You know, plus, I mean, I'm $150 an hour in person to hire me in person, or I'm around $150 a month to hire me for a coach for online. And you can hire me online and I can still watch your videos. Now, the degradation is that in person, I can fix you from rep to rep. Whereas in online, I can only fix you from session to session, right? So it slows down the process a little bit. So that's really the downside. So I think online coaching is clearly here to stay. It's a cheaper route for a lot of people that don't have a coach or gym that they want to go to. You've got the opportunity to train in your house, in your garage, or in another open gym, and you can follow a program and get good coaching. And so I think it's a great place that we've gone. For a long time, I thought, look, how is the internet going to really make an impact in the fitness world? Because deep down inside, you still just have to work. I mean, you've got to actually do physical labor in strength training. But the reality is we've all kind of tapped into that. Like we're on the cutting edge of strength and conditioning and technology that we're able to teach people how to train and teach people how to lift and programming and move forward in the internet world, right? So it's been pretty cool.
What we found in the internet world, and we joke about it a lot, is almost this, fake false reality, and we see it all the time with coaches. Hey, if you join in, I got 10 spots left on my fitness challenge for 30 days. And it's like, it's always this short-term, big peak kind of deal. And that's not us. And it's surely not you, where you're like, we're going to work on this stuff for about a couple of years. I mean, you're not going to be my client for just a week or 6 weeks or even 8 months. Right. We're going to start this progression. And I think if you can explain to people up front, I mean, that's something we talk about, like this multi-year template, and part of the thing that kills us a little bit is people that want to, jump in and program hop and this. And I'm like, dude, You got to get on the fucking train and you got to take a slow train. And like, dude, it's a long road, but if you can take the fucking journey, you will get where you want to go.
That's right.
And, but the problem becomes is that we're so conditioned with this iPhone generation where, I need everything today. I need it all today. And what supplements can I take? Because if I take supplements, somehow it'll help me along. And we're, in this constant battle with this thing. And dude, we literally fight this thing on a daily basis, and it's almost, through every outlet we have, whether it be social media, blogs, videos, demos, programming. I mean, everything has a unified, very simple message, which is it's going to take a little bit of time.
Sure.
Nothing is built, but that's I think the hardest thing. And like when I sit back and I don't even tell you guys this, when I sit back and I look at like the 10,000 foot macro, everything we talk about is this. And it's like, how do you explain that to people that, quick fixes are quick loss, like quick money is usually quick money lost. I mean, the money you earn, consistent, all these other things, give you value for things. And the people that have followed the program for a long time end up having, phenomenal things. Also, while I was on my iPhone, I clicked on Strong Gym and the pictures are fucking epic.
Yeah, it's a nice gym.
Oh my God. I mean, like it's, there's turf, there's, it looks like a little bit of everything. And you're right. I think, at least when I started my gym, I never really wanted to have a gym. What happened is I had a downstairs where my brothers and I were training, and I left to go back to training camp. And a guy that I knew ended up being like, "Hey, can I train some people there?" I came home a couple months later, and he had a full-blown gym in my house, and we got evicted. And so then we went up the street and rented a place, and really, I never wanted to be in the gym business, and I just kind of got thrust into the gym business. And then you realize, all of a sudden, the clientele and the people that are coming through your door are not the people you want to work with.
Sure.
And then you have to make a decision. So, I mean, it was really nice for us to be able to parlay and work with people we want to work with, which is kind of, different than you. And it sounds like you were working with the community you wanted. They just made you an offer you couldn't refuse.
Yeah. That's really, really what happened. And I mean, for us, like at any point that you're going to run a business, first off, running a gym is not, if somebody came up to me, some kid in college and said, "Hey, I want to be an entrepreneur," I would say, don't go in the gym business. No, right? Like you gotta do it because you love it. And we see this, the CrossFit community is bad at this because these guys, they're an accountant or a lawyer. You've seen this a million times. They fall in love with CrossFit. They do CrossFit. They go get their level 1. They start to coach CrossFit, and they may actually be a really good CrossFit coach. And they decide, what I should do? I should quit my job as an attorney or an accountant or an engineer. I should go open a CrossFit gym. That's a terrible idea, right? Because you don't know how to run a business. You just know how to coach CrossFit. It's not the same thing. Like, you're a business owner now. You're not a coach. You're coach second, business owner first at this point. And so for me, it was really difficult because I had built up, I built up enough of a reputation as an athlete, as an actual strength athlete, a power athlete for a long time, that I had a decent reputation there. And then I had capitalized on that and had a good reputation as a coach. But now I've got to go, look, me being a competitive athlete is way down the list now. And me being a coach is down the list too. Like, I'm a business owner. I have 16 employees. I'm hiring people. I'm firing people. I'm training people. And you've got to start making these decisions as a business owner to say, okay, for us, we always had a business plan in place. And the business plan was not something for a bank to get financing. It was for us. Who are we? Like, who's our soul? I don't want to lose my soul. And so as people start asking questions, you start making these decisions about, okay, I've got to make major change decisions about what I'm going to charge or what classes am I going to offer Zumba? Like, hell no, I'm not going to offer Zumba. That's not who we are. I'm not offering Zumba, right? Because that's not who we are. And so while I could offer Zumba and make more money, I had to be able to come back to that and go, I've got to make decisions about who are we? And so there's times when, like, look, especially this time of year, this is a great time of year to talk. You're in the dead heat of the summer, right? There's absolutely like, attendance is horrible in gyms. And so people start going, God, maybe I should make a decision going into fall. Like, I want to push into the fall and push into the winter and like November, December, and that kind of holiday season into January so that I can make as much money as possible. But they'll sell their soul to do it. And so for us, it was a constant struggle to try to remain true to who we were and kind of, I always wanted to be like, we're going to be a strength gym. And we're going to be a strength gym that's the nicest strength gym in the country. We're going to have the best customer service in the country. And we're going to be the cleanest gym in the country. That was a big deal to me because every other warehouse gym isn't that, right? Like,
and then you end up with like a fucking ringworm, which I got at the very first CrossFit gym. And that's what really spurred me to get weights was we got literally ringworm on our arms. My brother doing fucking like pillars. And I had ringworm, like all these circles. I'm like, what is this? And they were like, it's ringworm. I'm like, ugh. So that's how we opened our place. But what you're talking about is a mission statement. I mean,
exactly right.
Not even necessarily a business plan. It's like this idea of like, who am I? What do we want to be? And at the end of the day, are we holding true to our ideals? And you wanted to be a strength gym. For us, it was really a mixed emotion, at least with my gym, because we were like the undercover strength gym. We were the CrossFit for people that wanted to lift heavy weights.
Yeah, sure.
And like that's how we got the moniker. And then all of a sudden you realize being like, what I know is how to train athletes, and the way I know how to train athletes, metabolic conditioning, which we're the same age. I mean, every high school football player in America fucking did metabolic conditioning and did circuits. And
yeah, sure.
CrossFit just found a sexy way to do it by getting girls in booty shorts and some knee-high socks to fucking do that stuff. So, I mean, it's killer. It's awesome that you were able to, one, create something that successful in a place where, Springfield, Missouri, like you wouldn't necessarily think that would exist.
Yep.
But also you tapped into it and were able to find a lot of really, really like-minded people, which I sometimes wonder if it's the area, if it's a kind of the Midwest mindset. I mean, sure. I fortunately lived in the Midwest on the East Coast, and I will tell you, people are very different. And Luke's sure. from the Midwest. I mean, the Paris of the Midwest, Naperville, Chicago, and Texas from Texas. But like, there's kind of, I mean, you guys have been out here. I mean, it's definitely a very, very different demographic than what you're dealing with in certain other places.
Yeah, I will say that my favorite people are out here are the ones that are not from here.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah, it's just so. What's for your own training? I was going to hit you up, seeing as we're about the same age. What do you now that because when you open your gym, the first thing you have to make peace with is abandoning your own fitness.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, it's brutal.
And then you sell the gym, and then you realize, like, holy fuck, I'm going to go get this back. So, like, what are you doing for? How are things improve for you now that you don't have this albatross called the gym anymore?
Yeah, that's a good question. It's been amazing. It was actually a complete surprise, to be honest. I mean, for 3 or 4 years, my training was pathetic. I just, I would hop into a CrossFit class every once in a while. I would still train heavy every once in a while, and I competed maybe 3 times in the 4 years or so that I opened the big gym once the big location was open. And so, actually, it's almost a surprise. I sell the gym and I start working from home. And I've got more time, and I spend like $25,000 through Rogue, and I build an incredible home gym here. And one, I didn't want to train in a gym in my town because I'm the guy that used to own Strong Gym, and I didn't want 500 people coming up asking me like, "Hey, aren't you the guy that used to own Strong?" And so I decided to train from home. I've got a great home gym here, and started training, and accidentally got strong again. And it was awesome. And so it's just amazing. Like, there's no stress, and I'm training, and I started doing.
You obviously weren't doing any RIPS programming,
right? So I wasn't following. Linear progression. So, got back and really kind of started a linear progression, just kind of started adding more weight to the bar. I wasn't really following a specific program, but just every time I went in, I would put a little more weight on the bar and got stronger. I actually did the starting strength. Rip runs these starting strength meets, which are basically CrossFit Total, which he was kind of the guy I think that came up with a lot of that stuff. Sure. So, so I did the squat, the press, and the deadlift. I actually tore my lat 10 days before the meet, and then still pulled 701 at the meet with a torn lat, like still bruised, like with a big purple, lat around my arm. So I'm still pulling over 700 pounds and getting strong. I actually benched 430 yesterday. I've noticed as I get older, I still like lifting heavy. My frequency has to cut down a little bit, and my volume has to cut down a lot. That's basically what it is. So as I'm 40, I can't handle the volume. I can still handle the intensity. I can still lift pretty heavy. I just have to keep my volume pretty low, and my frequency can be average. So I still train usually 4 days a week. So it's usually 4 days a week, and I'm doing kind of a daily undulating periodization kind of system now where I'm, it's kind of one time heavy, one time medium, one time light on most of the lifts throughout the week. I can usually handle that. I've got to cut back on the frequency a little bit for the deadlift. I got to cut back the frequency occasionally on the squat because it just beats me up and I can't seem to recover all the time. Upper body seems to do fine. And, my bench is up in the mid 4s and my press is up around 300 pounds. And, I squatted 450 for 5 yesterday, did 425 for 5, 425 for 5, 450 for 5. And then, pulling a little over 7. So I'm happy. I never thought it would go there. My wife is fives. My wife, they told
me that 5 is the most powerful number in the world.
That's right.
So every time somebody brings them up where it's like 5 is definitely more powerful than 6. And
that's right. You got to spell it with an A and an H. F-A-H, right? So I'll tell you what's funny is my wife is she'll be 40 in a couple months. She's a couple years older than me. And she squatted last week. She squatted 310, and she benched 205 paused, and she deadlifts 375. And she's a totally normal looking chick. She's not into this at all. She's not excited about training. She's not excited about strength training. Matter of fact, yesterday she complained for a solid hour about having to squat heavy, and she squatted 265 for 3 sets of 5. I mean, 265 for 3 sets of 5 for a 40-year-old lady who's had 2 kids, 2 C-sections is pretty damn strong. And I'm talking again about a girl that just doesn't give a shit about this stuff. I mean, she just does it because I'm in the bedroom doing it with her, right? Mm-hmm. And she's just gotten strong. So it's just, again, it's one of those deals where if you can convince people, like, consistency is key. She's done it for a long time. She's been consistent. She doesn't miss. She doesn't particularly like it. She does it because it's something that we can do together as a husband and wife. And she's gotten strong almost accidentally doing it. Right now,
it's more than yesterday, right?
That's right. That's what she does.
It's amazing.
And here's the deal, because she wasn't raised in a gym with a low strength standard, because she wasn't raised in, and it's not, I'm not shitting on CrossFit, but she wasn't, but you see these gyms that have such a low strength standard. She doesn't know the 300-pound squat and a 200-pound – dude, a 205 bench press for a girl is strong.
No, that's strong.
Girls can't do that, right? And she just doesn't – she doesn't know. She doesn't know. I hope she doesn't listen to this. She's not going to –
Well, like so when I was in high school, like, for high school football to get, like, the letter, I think it was like a sticker on the side of your helmet you had to, like, or there was some special sticker that everybody had. You had to deadlift 500, you had to squat 400, you had to bench 300, and you had to clean, like, I think it was like a power clean, like 225 or 250.
Yep, sure.
So that was like our total. And so I remember, like, I hit those numbers when I was like 17. And I remember when I went in and first got, with CrossFit, there were, like, we went in to train and there were guys in there that were trying to deadlift 300 pounds.
Yep.
And I remember being like,
I remember being that guy.
I know, but, like, I remember people were asking me about lifting weights and they were like, well, and I hadn't pulled a deadlift off the ground since, like, my second year of college. We only did RDLs. And,
sure.
And the idea was that I like the eccentric load to the concentric more so than the reverse.
Sure.
So the idea of loading the hamstring. And I remember it was like, 585 for 8 was always the goal, to try to pull it for as many reps as you could. But, like, I just remember, like, the perception, like, and then even talking with people being like, dude, like, you guys are chasing numbers that there's 15-year-old girls in Texas.
That's right.
Powerlifting that are fucking busting. Mm-hmm. And so I think what would happen is and you know this, dude, like, the analogy is kind of like the 4-minute mile deal. Like, do you remember, like, they said, like, nobody could run a 4-minute mile and that you would die, and then the one dude runs a 4-minute mile, and the next, like, within, like, weeks, like, 11 guys run a 4-minute mile.
Right.
And it was like, oh my God, like, they'll never break that. The same thing with lifting weights. If you go and you train with strong people, everybody gets strong, but if you're constantly around, like, that Brooke Wells girl pulled like 400 plus pounds after she ran a 7K deal.
415.
Yeah, 415. How many dudes were watching that thinking themselves,
oh shit,
I can't fucking deadlift 400 pounds, and I can't do it fresh. And here's this 7K, and 20 minutes later, fucking deadlifts 415.
That's right.
And if you notice, every one of those girls, pretty much every one of those girls, but just a handful, deadlifted under 300 pounds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, that Sam Dancer pulled 615.
Yeah, same thing.
He broke his leg during the run.
He fell down?
Just the turf. So, again, going back to our ankle stuff, but
he broke his fucking fibula. I played 17 weeks with a broken fucking fibula, and you know what they told me?
That's what we told Sam Dancer.
You do not need that bone to play football. You don't need that bone to do CrossFit. It's only 12% weight bearing bone. That's what the doctor fucking said to me. He looked me dead in the eye, and I was like,
"Was he wrong?"
No, I was able to do it. It was really good. And I have a ruptured calf to fucking show it because it was so splintered that my calf went into fucking spasm and ruptured. And they were like, "You're good.
You don't need a calf to play football."
Yeah, no. And
that kneecap. You don't need that to play football.
And then the best is I'm on Mark Bell's podcast, and some guys are like, "What's wrong with his fucking calf when he doesn't train him?" And they're like, "I think the dude ruptured it in a football game." He's like,
"That guy's right too."
Yeah. like that, dude. That's but like strength is really like you made the point that like you almost got strong on accident, but strength is contagious.
Yeah,
it's like fucking hard work, and like even a gym. I mean, we used to joke that like all of a sudden somebody would have a back injury, and then all of a sudden everybody would have a back injury, and we used to joke and call it the what was it where in the SI joint ends up like what's a standard back injury that everybody's like, oh, I can't fucking remember. I'm an idiot, but I'm sure Kelly will cut this out. But like people would always come in and be like, oh, my back's aching up. And the next thing you know, everybody have a fucking back injury. I'd be like, dude, don't lay on the turf. You're going to get fucking back injury. But like, it's like your place. Like all of a sudden people come in and they see strong people doing strong shit, and instantly in their mind, it becomes attainable.
Yes. Perception becomes reality. So you can use that if you understand it. Like your gym it can create a culture, but that's what we're witnessing in kind of many of the gyms we travel to, is that the head coach, the owner, is the strongest guy and will always be.
Yep.
Fuck that.
So and he's not very strong.
Well, exactly. But in their perception.
But here's the thing. Like I always felt that if I was the best person, like if I trained a whole bunch of people and I was the best, I'm fucking shitty. Like you should always be working to try to make people better than you. And like that was, kind of neat where you come in and you're like, man, and I remember Dave Tate even talking about that, like the day that he realized that everybody was stronger than him, that he was like, I've done my job. And he's like, it was the worst thing to my fucking ego I could ever deal with. And at that point he was like, I'm going to stop trying to get strong.
But that's the beauty of a strength gym, is that there's not a lot of ego in there. As big and strong as those guys are, it's a directed competitive ego, but not I'm
sciatica.
Somebody's weaker than me.
Sciatica is the back injury. Everybody would get fucking sciatica.
Yeah.
We had like 50 people with sciatica once, and they were all squatting like fucking 60 kilos.
Working on form.
Yeah. So the old power lifter that trained me, I trained with this old man I've talked about him before named George Zangus, and George invented the super suits and the wraps, marathon nutrition. So he's kind of a legend. And when we come in there, and I started training with him, I was 14 in his garage, and it was like a big deal to have George invite you over there because they're fucking dudes and they're squatting, 600, 700, 800 pounds.
Right.
You show up and you rack weights. And I remember one day I was way outside fucking where I should have been, dude. I was, like I'm trying to like wrap my knees to fucking squat 225, which was a joke. I was just so young, I didn't know any better. And I remember I fucking squatted really shitty. And George was like, oh, you should, take some weight off and have a form day. And I was like, oh, all right. I took weight off and I was like, oh, it's kind of easy. And then I remember like later on we were doing something and he made a point. He's like, everybody's good at lifting light weights. And I was like, yeah, that seems pretty actually. He's like, you know what people suck at? I'm like, the heavy ones. He's like, you know how you get strong, or more important, you get lifting heavy weights? I'm like, by lifting heavy weights? He's like, yeah. He's like, nobody ever got strong lifting light weights.
Yep.
And nobody ever got good at lifting heavy weights by lifting light weights. And I'm like, so the whole go down to a form thing was kind of a fucking backhanded kind of slap in the face. He's like, I was like, okay. And we never spoke about it again. It was like
lesson learned.
Yeah, it was like I was pretty young, and I remember thinking to myself, like, all right, this old man just fucking nut punched me in a really interesting way. And, and ever since then, like, we used to run into, I'll be like, it feels real heavy. I want to go down and work on my form. And I always remember, I've heard people say that for so long, and I give them the same talk. I'm like, you know how you don't get strong? Lifting light weights. And and I still brushed it out to him. And oddly enough, I don't think people took it the same way I did. I took it as like this, like, personal strife against me, whereas other people are like, I don't care.
That's fine. Yeah.
I'm good. I'm good with being weak. And you know what? We've met people like that too, that were totally cool with it. No, I'm totally not into it. I have no desire to do this. And I'm like, fuck, every day I walked into the gym, and a little piece of me dies if I'm fucked up and I can't train, and these guys see it. But people are cool with it, and I just don't really understand it. So
yeah, I had a guy. So I posted my clients. We've got a private forum for my online clients, so they can kind of build a community. Especially this time of year, it's 105 degrees in their garage, and nobody wants to train out there. And so we got a little online community, and they were asking me, "Hey, will you post some videos of your lifting so we can see like what would be cool?" So I videoed last night yesterday and did my squats and my bench press and stuff. And so I was telling me like, "Hey, I've got horrible osteoarthritis in my hips, which is more genetic than anything else." And so I was showing them what I squatted, and my back's kind of jacked up because I pulled 650 last week. Wasn't planning on pulling 650, and my back's super sore, and I tore my pec a little bit on my bench press last night. Yeah, just a little bit. It's fine. So the guy said, "God, training must be a real pain in the ass, like being old and beat up like that." And I said, "Nope, I love it. I love it. Like, what do you mean it's a pain in the ass? At no point have I ever sat in my house and been like, fuck, I do not want to train today." That has never come. I love training. Like, listen, there's times when I'm hurt and I'm beat up. I get it. I get what he's saying. But, like, he doesn't get it yet, right? Like, I I process of training. I always have loved to compete. I love being a powerlifter and going to do powerlifting meets and strongman competitions. But I like the process of training. And really, it comes back to that. This is kind of one of those things that Rippetoe has kind of tried to outline. And I think he's made some good points there, is that there's a difference between people who are just going to show up to exercise and get hot and sweaty and the people that train, right? And the difference is, for guys like you, John, that have done this actually at a high professional level, you understand what training looks like. And so then to come out of that and now deal with normal general population people and to try to deal with their psyche, which is, I'm not really interested in training. I'm really interested in getting hot and sweaty and looking good for the beach. I'm not interested in training. Like, strength is about training. It has to be. I mean, it's a quantifiable. You've got to understand that stress, recovery, adaptation, stress, recovery, adaptation, stress, recovery, adaptation. So when we deadlift 275 and we decide that 275 deadlift is heavy, and the next week we're like, you know what, I'm going to do 225 and work on form, it's a wasted hour. You wasted it, right? If you did 275 last week, you have to go up. That's the deal. You have to get heavier. And if you don't get heavier, you've got to add reps. That's the way it works. Your body has already adapted to 275 by 5. So you can't go backwards or we screw this thing up, right? And people don't get it. And so people just want to, every once in a while, test what they're doing. And for the most part, they just want to, fling around on the monkey bars and pretend that they're doing something. And in Southern California, they can do it with the doors open and get hot and sweaty and do it out on the edge of the beach. And that's really what they're looking to do. And I've actually gotten to the point where if that's what you want to do, I just don't have a problem with it anymore. Yeah. That's just not who I'm going to coach. Well, if you're not hiring me, that's not what we're going to do.
It's not necessarily a problem. I mean, like I think the hard thing is you come to the point that not everybody has the same goals as you, and and even though they're talking to you about training, like that was something I had to really wrestle with. As you said, for me, training was about this idea of I have to get somewhere by a certain day. So the season ends in January, and I know that by the third week of July, I got to be able to do all of this stuff to be able to keep my job and be competitive.
Sure.
And that overarching fear of failure of going out and getting my fucking ass handed to me, or more importantly, showing up on a Sunday thinking I'm ready and going out there and getting my fucking ass beat in front of millions of people, was this little thing that literally in the morning I would fucking pop out of bed like a spring of fear, I got to go get this fucking done.
Sure.
And for my entire life. And then I remember all of a sudden I retired, and it's now what do I do?
Yeah.
And it was a really interesting thing to and then you try to talk to people about it and they have no concept of it. And it's, you made a great point too, the idea of you have to stress to progress. Either you got to add weights to the bar, you got to add reps. And, something that we found, which was pretty interesting, was the idea of, being able to quantify and measure speed and power. And we ended up working with these guys to develop a collar that is able to measure velocity and power and some really jiggy things. And, and I actually argued with Rip a little bit on this, is, going back to my roots, which was, Zangus, and also with Fred Hatfield doing the compensatory acceleration, and the idea of basically, bar speed being something to shoot for. And, the idea of, reps and strength and rep maxes, and you kind of end up developing a kind of a program to kind of really put this stuff together to develop athleticism. And, it's so funny that I hear you talk, just because I argued with Rip for so long on this idea of developing athleticism. I mean, he still fucking fights me on the toes forward thing. And shit, dude. So I'm stoked that we're going to be closer to him, because I want to caravan up there and fucking rail his ass every day I can.
I just think you get to a point where you realize that there's these times where those things are appropriate, right? So I think, even come back, you were talking about this earlier about the way you guys look at when you start writing the power athlete programming, you're looking at this long-term athletic development model, right? And one of the things I've always loved about studying about what the Soviets did in the 70s and 80s is they always had this long-term, lifetime model for these kids. So they have these kids, they come in, they're doing calisthenics and soccer and swimming and gymnastics and everything. Because they want to expose them to as many different motor patterns as possible when they're young. But it's play, it's fun. It doesn't have to be really serious when they're 5, 6, 7, 8 years old. But at some point we start to actually build into actual training, right? So you can't build in actual training, and we don't even think about this, right? We take a kid, he's 8 years old, dad thinks he's going to be a Major League Baseball player, and so he's not going to let him play any sport except for baseball for the time he's 8. That's ridiculous, right? We don't expose him at all because we don't think about the long-term athletic development model. But so I think when you get in these things where you can argue with Rippetoe about what's appropriate and what's not, you have to step back and go, okay, who are we coaching here, right? Who does Rip coach? Rip coach 55-year-old, old people, detrain. Does a 55-year-old lady need to do power output work, on a Tendo type unit that's going to measure velocity? No. So he's seeing things through that lens. The lens is put more weight on the bar every single time, just get stronger, stay out of the nursing home, right? And then maybe that's 55 years old, maybe it's an 18-year-old kid, but an 18-year-old kid who can't squat 135 needs to get his squat up to 225 or 275 first and get some. I mean, power is strength displayed quickly, right? That's what power is.
Yeah.
There's no strength there. That's one half of the equation. But then I can take a kid who's developed some level of strength and I can start to work his power. And I can actually look at power output. Actually, you guys have probably studied this stuff. There's a guy here at University of Missouri. His name's Brian Mann. He's done a lot of work on like the power. So they actually start training.
Use the power plates and all that.
Yeah, power plates, right? So they would actually train their athletes. So they would do their cleans or power cleans until they hit max force, max power. So they would play around with the amount of weight on the bar and the bar speed and figure out where is my power max. So instead of going like, hey, we're just going to work up to the heaviest clean we possibly can, we're going to say at what point is the clean producing the most power. Now, I think
it's between 83 and 85 or 87% is what he came up with. I've read all this stuff because I've been going back, and part of the thing which is ironic that we're talking about this is I understand velocity-based training for an intermediate and advanced athlete.
Sure.
And that's when the guys from Form Color really came to us, they were able to create a bunch of metrics that we wanted for the collar. But the thing that I took a step back on is like, all this is great, but how the fuck do people translate this into training? And so us going back and being like, all right, well, there needs to be some ebook or just something with some programs to give people an idea how to use it. And then the hard thing, dude, to go back and actually figure out how to do velocity-based training with beginners is even more jiggy because, as you know, your body's ability to display your strength dynamically is, really predicated on a couple different things. One is strength, but two, central nervous system efficiency, which is your ability to have done a shit ton of reps, which beginners have. Intra and intermuscular coordination, all that shit that basically comes from elevated testosterone, training volume, opportunity, all of these things that beginners don't have.
Sure.
So it's almost like, and Rip, he was preaching this years before many other people, the idea of let's just get people strong. And then once they get strong, everything gets easier, opposed from this idea of like, you're trying to do this, what do you call it? Like, I'm going to develop all these things at once.
Everything at once.
Yeah, which is like, and because we run into people all the time. I want to be strong. I want to be fast, but I want to have abs and great capacity. I want to lean. I want to bulk, but I want to be lean. I want to be strong, but it's like, hey, motherfucker, pick one. Because there's entire people that
don't pick one. Let's get you strong and figure it out from there.
Yeah, and the one thing, and we've said this at the seminar for years, and where we kind of butt heads a little bit, and I think CrossFit actually understands this a little bit more, is when they started talking about the 10 elements of fitness, with strength being one of the elements. I was like, there's no fucking way. I was like, dude, strength is the platform of which everything is built.
That's right.
Because if you are a stronger athlete, will have better endurance, will have better coordination.
Make everything, all 10 of those things get better.
Dude, and the one is and the analogy when they kind of battled me on it, I was like, I told you guys, I fucking broke my leg and they casted me for 5 days and I played about 3 weeks later. And with that broken leg, they robbed me of everything I had in terms of, I had no fucking coordination. I had no quickness. I mean, they robbed all my elements of fitness. The only thing I had left was my fucking strength. And I was able to play at a high level because I was still strong and I was smart enough to put my body in the right position. And I think what, CrossFit and what people are really realizing is that a stronger athlete will always be a more dominant athlete. I mean, even the guy that won the CrossFit Games, the guy was trained at the OTC, Olympic lifter, breaks his back, comes back, and the guy's still a fucking beast. He was able to develop all those other things. He had all that other shit on lock.
Yeah, what did he do first? What did he do? What did Frazier do first? Right,
he's an Olympic lifter.
Frazier got strong. And then, because we know that strength takes the longest to build, but it also, just like you said, when you got injured, it takes the longest to lose, right? So I would remember there'd be times in football season as a high school football coach, I'd be like, I'm going to train all through the season, and then you just don't train through the season because you're a high school football coach, you're working, a million hours a week or whatever. And so, but you come back and your strength is still not bad, but you're in horrible shape. I can't push the prowler for three sprints after the football season, not doing it because I'm in horrible shape. But how long does it take to get good at the prowler? About 3 weeks, right? I mean, it doesn't take very long. And so the reality is if we take these beginners and we just get them strong, then is there a time when it's appropriate to train the other colleagues' other 9 physical skills, right? Like, yeah, of course. It's just not as a novice who is pathetically weak. If we just get them strong first, all those things get better. And then we get them to an intermediate, and now we can actually focus on all right, we might actually need to train some additional endurance. We might need to train some additional power. We might, whatever those things are, there's an appropriate time to train that stuff. And then what you'll find is as people get to be advanced, you've got to go back into pigeonhole them again, right? So a powerlifter can no longer, like an actual high-level competitive powerlifter, now has to focus only on strength, right? But you have certain other athletes that, like train only endurance, right? So they have a base of strength, but they can now only when they get absolute top level, they can't focus on, so that concurrent kind of methodology of training all 10 of those things, I think there is a time that is appropriate as an intermediate to do those things.
Well, we also found, though, with the beginners, the biggest thing that was actually limiting their ability to get strong was a lot of times they were so fucking detrained. So, sure. I mean, even like, we had people come in and like literally squat 3 sets of 5 at body weight, and they were so fucking sore we wouldn't see them for 2 weeks.
Yep, sure.
And so then we realized that if we just did a basic little bit of conditioning with them and just got them in better shape, it almost helped them, sure. Fucking drive some adaptation to where they were able to do a little bit more. And that was something that was real big. And I know when Rip and I sat down and designed our original templates for CrossFit football, a big thing I talked about, I was like, if we do it this way, can we get people in? And Rip and I sat down. I still have the original things he drew on a fucking bar napkin and took a picture of when we ferreted a lot of this stuff out. Because for me, when CrossFit asked me to do the CrossFit football seminar, it had been so long since I was a beginner that I didn't fucking know. Sure. And when I thought about what I did, everything I did was wrong. I mean, when I started lifting weights, we literally worked up to singles every day because that's what the old powerlifters did. But they were all advanced guys. So, I mean, it was terrible. So when I talked to Rip, and we went back and discussed the physiology, and actually had to read his book, which was a prerequisite to our conversation. He's like, have you read the book? And I'm like, do I have to read the book? He's like, read the fucking book. So I read the book, called him back, went over a bunch of the physiology, and a lot of the physiology I understood really made a lot of sense. The idea that, down regulation, the fact that, if you have one rep, it's not going to be good. And you can look at rep quality for beginners versus advanced athletes. With an advanced athlete, the rep one's very good. And you see a down regulation on where I was watching beginners and the first rep was shit. The second rep was, slightly shit. The third rep looked better. 4. And then finally by the 5th rep, it was something good enough for them to really pass as a squat. And all of a sudden you figure out that holy shit, I mean, there's something to the 5s there, but
that's what I was going to jump into.
Yeah. I mean, and so a lot of Rip's original physiology, and the cool thing, I remember asking him once and he got kind of pissed. I was like, did you get a lot of this shit from Bill Starr? Fuck no, I didn't get it from Bill Starr. I did this by observation. And then we fucking argued. And I was like, so what you're telling me is that Starr didn't talk? No. And then I went back and read Starr's book. But a lot of these things.
I'm just going to leave that there. Is that
dramatic pause?
Dude, did you read the Only Strong Shots?
Oh, yeah. Do you know, I actually have the first printing of that book. Oh, and one of my biggest things that drives me nuts is I kept meaning to send it to Starr before he died and have him sign it. So I had asked Rip, I was like, Rip said, send him a t-shirt and he'll sign the book and he'll send a self-addressed kind of, middle envelope, send it back. And I never got it done. Then the guy died on me.
Yeah.
But now I've got this first printing, but I was hoping to get it signed by him. So, yeah.
Well, he was pretty, if you read all the mineral, he got fucking way outside the box on all this mineral shit. He was real jiggy. I mean, so far ahead of his time in terms of strength coach, but a big thing he talked about was strength is a platform at which everything is fucking built. Strong, and I think, you made a great point too, where you talk about looking at demographics. Our demographic is the idea of how do we really increase athleticism?
Sure.
And that's been our mission statement. I mean, our definition of athleticism sits on the wall is really our mission statement, that everything has to be the idea of, really. Did you memorize it, Luke?
Yeah.
Here,
it's a seamless and effortless combination of primal movement patterns through space to complete a known or novel task.
Accomplish a known or novel task.
Accomplish complete.
You're way ahead of me.
It's a typo.
I know it's a typo, but that idea of does the training and but then you have to remember what's the audience, and more importantly, does everybody need that?
Sure.
I mean, or like you said, do people just need to lift some weights and get stronger than they were yesterday?
Sure.
So, and I think that's, where people wrestle. And more importantly, I think as a coach, I'm sure you have to figure this out all the time too. And people are like, I want to bench 500 pounds. And you're like, dude, you are 5'6", fucking 110 pounds. I'm pretty sure we're not going to bench 500 unless you are fucking 230 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, a big thing we talk about is, what's realistic expectations?
Sure. Yeah, we go through that a lot. Yeah, and I just think that we are such about getting it accomplished now. I want results now. That people can't think about that long-term athletic development model. And so that's what I love having this conversation with people about, like, let's look at this, go back to the long-term thing. This is not going to take 3 months. It's not 12 weeks to the best you now. That's not what we're doing here. So this is going to take 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5-year process. My attrition rate is extremely low with my clients because they understand, like, this is this process that we're doing forever. Now, I would like to get them to the point where they don't necessarily need me as a coach. And a lot of times they use me as just accountability. That's a great place to have some of your clients. But ultimately, we go, look, this isn't like a diet. I'm not going on a diet for 3 weeks to look good at the beach. I'm doing this because ultimately, long term, I know that if I'm strong when I'm 70, I get to live independently. I'm not going to go live in a nursing home, right? I want to be able to move. I want to be able to and look, I actually think powerlifting is starting to figure some of that stuff out too, right? When I was in powerlifting in the early 2000s, it was huge, fat, bloated, blood pressure, 200 over 105 powerlifters. And finally, that again, I think we owe a lot to this kind of CrossFit mentality, a lot of this stuff where guys go like, well, hold on a second. I realize that if I go out and push the prowler every once in a while, my recovery is better between sets. I realize that if I do some explosive movements, that my deadlift gets better. But they started to realize that stuff. So I think there's a lot of crossover there for sure.
Well, I mean, I also think guys like Dan Green and, Stan Efferding and these dudes that were, looked the fucking part, really made a big difference. I mean, I remember when, we were in high school going to these powerlifting meets, and you're right, dude, these guys were fucking enormous fat dudes and nobody really wanted to be like that.
Yep.
All of a sudden you see the Olympic lifters and they were all pretty jacked except the super heavyweights were fat as fuck.
Yep.
But like the idea of like, form follows function. If all I have to do is move a weight in a straight line from point A to point B, do I really need to be fit? And, I remember fairly early on, like I've told these guys a story, but I was in college and I wanted to bench 500 pounds.
Yep.
My roommate had the Westside videos. So we literally watched the Westside VHSs.
Yeah. Had those.
Yeah. Dude, I want to try to find them. You guys got to watch them, dude. Yeah. They were totally insane. It's like Chuck Vogelpohl walking with like pit bulls and like
they're squatting in jeans. Like they're wearing jeans to squat. They're box squatting in jeans and flannels. Right?
And they're training in like, it looked like a retail space because there's like fucking ceiling. It's the weirdest shit. It looks like a commercial gym because like in the back you'll see like a dude and you're like, and then people won't be around. But in there, and at the very end, there was a phone number, and I ended up fucking calling and talking to Louis. Hey, this is Lou, and went through, and he ended up designing me or talking to me about how to bench. And I ended up benching 500 pounds. But I remember the big thing is, what are you doing for your conditioning? I'm like, well, we fucking run every morning. We do plyos. Good. The better shape you are, the better, the more training you can do.
Yep.
And then when I went out and saw him, it was almost as like that had never changed. But the thing I laughed about was Lou was the only guy doing any conditioning.
That's right.
And those other fucking guys, like Lou was literally dragging the prowler, fucking doing all this crazy shit. And his dudes are in there fucking like mid-set or like, yo, man, you want to go to Chinese buffet?
Yeah, they would walk in with Egg McMuffins and stuff. I remember I went out to Westside several times. They would all walk in with McDonald's and eat McDonald's while they were warming up their bench press or their squat. And I was like, I don't know.
Yeah, because I mean, you'd always hear all this fucking GPP stuff out of Westside.
Yeah.
And, then I realized it was only Louis and the fighters and these other fucking kids Louis over there torturing.
Yep.
That idea of being strong enough to survive the training has really just been kind of a really a fucking golden arrow for us. And trying to like figure out like, what's an appropriate amount? Like, can you be in good enough shape to survive your training? Or have you gone too far in this where all of a sudden it's negatively affecting your strength?
Yeah, sure.
And the idea of, like even speed, for example, are you running at a high enough intensity to continue to drive your speed and get faster? Or are you running in too much of the no man's land?
Slow down the box.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's really been something interesting for us. But you're right. I mean, I think the really hard part with remote coaching is like making corrections in real time, opposed to like somebody trains like like I'm sure you go in and squat and there's somebody training with you and they're like, dude, that that was fucked up, or let's do this, and you can do little things in real time, opposed from watching videos. And I mean, because we watch videos on guys all the time, and you're like, holy fuck.
And it's not the best, but it's for some of these guys, it's the next best thing they can get.
It's
yeah.
I mean, Tex and I collabed on a program for a college lacrosse kid. And, we have a whole bunch of different movements in place so that we can kind of assess where the problems are. And so I'm sitting there watching all of his YouTube stuff. And, it was pretty telling to see. If I hadn't seen the YouTube, I would have gone this direction. And actually watching the YouTube, all his videos, I kind of wanted to talk to you a little bit about that. We need to go back a step because there's some movement shit that's really fucked up on him.
Measure twice.
But the interesting, and we integrate, Matt, kind of a coaching test within our online coaching. So we give them kind of warm-up movement / assessments. Yep. So we kind of have them hit 1, 2, or 3 movements, and then we watch them squat. And quite honestly, just as to challenge myself, I watch 1, 2, or 3 movement, make all the notes, and then watch the squat. And everything we see in that assessment appears in the squat.
Yeah, of course.
So then to coach, all I do is coach those warm-up movements, assessments, and then watch them kind of display into the lift. So that's kind of how we integrate more so depth into our online coaching.
Sure. Well, and all that really came from was the CrossFit Football Seminar. So, I mean, and dude, you're in the exact same boat. I mean, we would show up, you fly to some place. There's, anywhere from 15 to 50 people that you've never met that, at the time we assumed they did our training, but a lot of times they've never been to the fucking website.
Sure.
And all of a sudden we would put them in a situation where, hey, I want you to squat a heavy triple or work up to heavy. And so we needed a way to assess them faster than putting a heavy bar on their back and seeing shit go fucking sideways.
Sure.
And so we developed this deal, which we called warm-ups, and all they really were protocols for us to be able to assess people before they put a weight on their bar. So all of a sudden you're going around, you're like, okay, this guy can't do this, he can't do this. All right, so then these are the people that we need to gravitate towards that are fucking dialed. And it really worked almost in real time, and something we developed, 7 years and hundreds of seminars all over the globe. Is these what we call our tests or our assessment tools to really figure out where people are fucked up.
Yep.
The more interesting part is that after a while we realized that everybody had the same dysfunctions.
Yep.
And
all the time.
If you guys can hear, that's actually Matt drinking whiskey. We're drinking water because it's like fucking 90 degrees in here. We're actually next door to
and 12 noon.
Well, we're actually next door to guys that print T-shirts. And so he runs these dryers at like 500 degrees.
Yeah, it gets hot.
Dude, it's hot up in here. But, so we ended up, getting into this model. Like when you're at the starting strength stuff, does Rip still talk the whole time?
No. So we've split up the seminar. We split up the lectures now. So Tom Campitelli, one of our other guys, have done it for a long time. I think he probably came out when you had yours, when you hosted at your gym. So he does probably a third, and I do 2 lectures, and then I do all the platforms and stuff. It just depends on who the staff is. So yeah, he's taken away, but I don't know how he did it for that. I mean, man, there was about 18 hours of lecture and all the platform stuff. He only does about 2 lectures now. So
So do you, what do you guys put in terms of warm-ups, movements? I mean, is there anything that you guys do to assess people so that you don't have to figure out where people are fucked up?
Yeah, so here's what I was going to ask. So, no, not at the starting strength seminar. Although here's an interesting kind of test for you guys. So, Tex, you were saying you go through these assessments, right, and you see the dysfunction in these guys. What would be interesting, I'm sure you're already thinking them in your head before they ever squat. You could probably say, here's how this guy's going to squat, because you've already seen the dysfunction in their movement, right? So you can say, I know what's going to happen right here. The guy's going to have like weak, like glute medius. He's not going to be able to keep his knees out. He's not going to be able to, his knees are going to go forward. I can see that this is going to happen. Now, if you think, for me, it's just flipped, right? So I've seen tens of thousands of people squat millions and millions and millions of reps. And so what I do is, my assessment that I have for my online coaches, I have them not go heavy, but still do all the main lifts. And when I see something messed up, like on a squat, and I'll say, oh, I see this going on. And I'll say, you know what? Could you video yourself doing a lunge? Here's what I need you to do in the lunge. And I can already tell you what they're going to do when they get in the lunge, because I've seen it. So it's really just flip-flop. So for me, the assessment is the main lift. Now,
Squat's the diagnostic.
Squat is the diagnostic. Now,
because it is a two-way.
Oh, yeah. No,
yes.
I mean, it's almost like, it makes night and day sense. We just merely did the diagnostic before the squat because
you had to warm them up anyways.
Well, we had to warm up, but people were literally fucking killing themselves.
Yeah, they're dying too much weight. Yeah, so
we would go in and just do some basic warm up. Hey, I want you to do all this stuff. We get people's fucking blood flowing, and we get their chili hot, as Tex likes to say it. And it's enough of the chili. Like, get your peppers. I mean, we got to find something new. And then we watch people get on the bar, and literally, it was. I mean,
it was a disaster.
Well, I felt like I was watching the guys from Broken Lizard making fucking fitness videos.
Sure.
But the, and the other one too that we really ran into, and I fucking still tell Rip this, and he actually this is where one of the funny ones where Rip kind of was like, yeah, of course. Whenever people ask about bar position, so we teach just base of the traps,
Sure.
and because we've had people fucking do a low bar that was right on their low back, like fucking crooks of the arm.
Yeah.
We've had people high bar where the bar was so high it was
That's
shattering the top of their deal. And so we kind of stopped getting away from this high bar and low bar thing. And I remember calling Rip a couple of years ago. I'm like, bro, you got to stop with this shit because people are fucking this thing up. Like, let's go with a specific location. And for us, we found that really the base of the traps where the bar sat on really the most uncomfortable position on their shoulders. Yep. If they tell me it hurts, I know that, they're in the right spot. And really that allowed us to do it. But it was like one of those things where I remember at Rip's seminar, I'm like, what the fuck are these people doing? Like, everybody has a different perception of what a low bar squat is. I mean, it's unreal. And then it's subjective. So, I mean, that was.
So we've changed that now. So now we say spine of the scapula. So it sits on the spine of the scapula. And we actually make the coach come back and touch their back. So, okay, everybody knows your shoulder blades are here.
Sure.
Look, you can actually feel the bony portion on the superior on top, right? And so you can feel here's the bony portion. It goes right there, which is the same thing. It's the base of the traps.
It's the base of the traps.
So it's the same sort of spot. So, it's funny now that Rip has got all these people who have followed him, we're now seeing the pendulum swing too far in a certain directions, right? So, for example, when Rip first wrote Starting Strength, we would do this elbows up thing, right? So, which is really just to get the musculature. Yeah, and you see that exactly what Tex is doing now, right? So those elbows are all the way up and they're above the shoulders. No, that's not what we meant, right? Or the hands, right? So it's thumbs on top. We don't wrap the thumbs around the bar. We put the thumbs on top, but we want a neutral wrist. And now instead you see people go over the bar. They're not even hanging onto the bar. And so we've actually had to start to come out with some articles now. They're like, okay, hold on. You guys have swung or the knees out. So we go knees out. Knees are supposed to go out. And then you see these guys that have their knees 18 inches outside their feet. You're like, whoa. I don't want your knees going forward, but I'm not even sure how you're doing that. That's
Dude, we've seen people literally drive their knees out. And so really what we teach is, you should drive your knees out, but ideally you still want that knee to track over your instep, and you'd like it to go in the same direction as your foot is going.
Right.
And we were watching people literally almost like this, driving their knees out so hard that they're rolling on the outside of the foot. They couldn't keep their big toe down.
Yep.
And I'm like, dude, they did so many extensive power play deals where if your big toe was up, what was it 30 to 50%?
Sure. Yeah.
And
glutes on.
And then dude, so this is where I think the practical application of people hearing something and then seeing something or people running with it, and literally, dude, that's part of our battle of bullshit where I'm like, dude, let's take a step back. I mean, you guys have gone fucking down the rabbit hole on this thing, and and even for Rip, I mean, the amount of probably mistranslation between what he's asking people to do and what they're doing.
Sure.
Because, dude, I remember we were at the seminar when I took it. I think this was in 2008, and I remember this guy was he's like, well, let me see you demo the squat. And the guy had been a Starting Strength disciple, watched every video, and Rip literally tore the fucking guy to pieces. He's like, that's a squat to a good morning. We're talking about hip drive, but now what you want to do is forklift where they drive the butt and this. And he's like, so it just always makes me laugh when you hear cues or people stick with this methodology and hear how badly people translate it, because I've seen some people do some terrible stuff with oh no, I'm doing a Rippetoe squat. I'm like, if Rip saw that, he'd fucking throw up.
Yeah, sure. I think ultimately too, Starting Strength, that's why Starting Strength pushes quality coaching so much. I mean, ultimately we all need coaches, right? I've done this for 20 years. And one of my favorite things about we were talking about, I was in Seattle last weekend with Rippetoe doing a seminar. One of my favorite things about traveling doing the seminars is that I get other Starting Strength coaches to watch me squat, to watch me deadlift, to watch me bench, because I don't have a Starting Strength coach. I don't have a good coach to watch me lift every day. I've done this for 20 years. I squat over 600 pounds. I deadlift over 700 pounds, and I still desperately need somebody to watch my lifts every once in a while to clean this stuff up, right? So Starting Strength is the best. I think it's the best book ever written on basic barbell training, teaching people the basics of the lifts with the basic movements. But the reality is that there's tons of people that still read that book and still do it wrong. Right? They get the idea. It's supposed to be low bar. It's supposed to be hip drive. But just like you said, they hip drive and the back angle changes. The butt comes up. The shoulders don't move. And all that kind of stuff. You go, whoa, where is that in the sign of the book? And so ultimately, you got to have a coach's eye on you. And I think that's where online, most of us that are Starting Strength staff members, have moved on and we do a lot of online coaching now because I think there's about 110 starting strength coaches. We have a pass rate. Our pass rate now is down about 5%. So about 95% of the people that pay the $1,000 fail, and that's fine. Like we
that's good. Yeah,
we want a high standard, right?
Yeah.
But then because of that, there's so many cities in the United States, and we only have 3 or 4 coaches that are outside the United States that don't have access to a good coach, and that's where I think online coaching comes in and is such a quality thing to offer. So now for a very affordable rate, you can actually get a starting strength coach's eyes on you, and it's not it doesn't have to be me. Most of these guys are doing this stuff, and you upload your video. We send them FAQs, where to put your phone, what angles to video from. This is what I want to see, and we're able to break that stuff down for them. So
no, Rip's when he actually bounced out of CrossFit and then came out with his starting strength seminar and that. I mean, I remember he sent me over curriculum, and like the requirements to do it were fucking like legit.
Elaborate.
Yeah, I mean, it was like not only do you have to listen to Rip talk for 18 hours without a break. I mean, it was physiology. I mean, the method. I mean, it was, and then I believe you had not only execute that, but then you had to go home and then be able to submit information. I mean, it was.
Okay. So here's what it is. You have to coach all 5 lifts. So you have to coach the squat, the bench press, the deadlift, and the power clean, while a staff member is watching you and evaluating you. And you've got to be able to coach it. You guys have seen this. Like I would like to. I think a lot of people think that we fail good coaches. It is so rare that the staff argues about whether someone should have passed the platform or not. You just look, people can coach or they can't. You get people in here that's like, holy shit, this guy has no clue what he's talking about. And he actually thought, it would be like showing up. I'm going to pay to go to a 3-day seminar on being a classical guitarist, and I've never played the guitar. And when I'm done, I want you to certify me as an actual classical concert guitarist. Like I can't learn how to do that in 3 days. You can't learn how to coach in 3 days, right? So Rip says, look, we are not here to turn you into a coach. We're here to identify people who are already good coaches. That's what we're here to do. And then if you pass the platform, 2 days later, you get emailed a test, which it's a minimum of 30 or 35 pages essay. You get 2 weeks to take it, and it's in-depth biomechanics, physics.
Well, he emails it now. Before, I remember he literally handed it out.
Yeah, it's emailed now. 2 days later. Yep.
Yeah, I'm surprised Rip is actually using email. I think it was smoke screens or a fax machine.
Let's be honest. Rip isn't emailing the test. it's someone else.
He's actually the only guy I know that still has an AOL.
I got one buddy.
Yeah, that's right.
Dude,
he does.
He emails me, and every time I see the AOL, I've got mail.
Yeah.
And he's the only person I know that has AOL.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I'm like, do they still have AOL?
I don't know.
The only way I know
in sequence.
The only way I know that there's an AOL is because Mark Rippetoe emails me from an extension that has AOL.com. And I think to myself, and I think to myself, holy fuck, he still has it. I wonder if he's using dial-up.
Yeah.
He probably it was probably like somebody at AOL followed starting strength and is somehow grandfathered.
We gotta keep it up for Rip.
Exactly.
Don't let it die.
We've opened one portal that forwards to a Gmail, but he thinks he's got his AOL because he still wants. I've got mail.
We finally got him texting in the last 6 months or so. It's made things a lot easier.
Does he still have a flip phone?
No, he's actually got an iPhone 6 now. Finally, but again, that's all recent sort of stuff. So yeah,
I can't believe it. I'm actually going to text him now.
Who's the catalyst for his increased technological aptitude?
He hired a guy. So we've got a guy's name is Nick Delgadillo, who's a good starting strength coach. Who actually he convinced. This is the most amazing thing ever. He convinced Nick to move from Reno, Nevada, to Wichita Falls. Like the guy actually.
That's kind of a lateral move.
Yeah, it's not.
That's kind of brainwashed.
That's kind of a lateral move. Have you ever been to Reno and Wichita Falls?
Reno is shitty, but Wichita Falls, I'm telling you, is the worst. I say, look, Memphis might be the only city worse than Wichita Falls in the whole United States. So it's pretty bad. So yeah, it's Delgadillo went, and he does all the tech stuff now. So he shoots the videos and does the video editing and handles the emails and all that.
Does Rip still have any members in this gym?
It's not an open gym. So Nick is also the head coach there, and then they've got a couple other really good starting strength coaches there. So it's basically a private, coaching, what most people would call personal training, but a private coaching gym. So they come in and do that. So it's all one-on-one stuff now. So,
yeah, I remember when we were there years ago, there were actually people that I think were paying memberships, but it was some god-awful amount of money. Like I want to say like $7 And like I remember that these guys had been there forever, forever. And like Rip had made a lot of the equipment, but I don't think his drawings were real good because he had a reverse hyper that like broke my shin. It was pretty legit though. I definitely got to say.
Still, I can assure you, it still looks like exactly the same as it did when you were there.
Yeah, and I remember it was like he finally at like 9:30 was like, "Let's squat." I'm like, "Fucking 9:30, dude. Let's go eat." He's like, "No. We're gonna lift some weights, and then we'll go a little bit later." And sure enough, dude, we lifted weights until midnight, and then went to his house at 1, and that was the longest night. And my other thing, I've told these guys, he reduced an entire block of blue cheese with a bottle of red wine for a red wine reduction. And literally this fucking deal on. I called him like 2 days later. I'm like, "Bro, I fucking haven't gone number 2 in like 2 days." He's like, "Yeah, all that cheese will back you up." I was like, and he's like, "I think it was some like bought off of like 3-pound break." I'm like, this fucking guy. He's definitely the most interesting human, like one of the most interesting people. I'm surprised nobody has done a documentary on him.
I know. I told him we really need to do some stuff where we kind of look at the inner workings of Rip. He does all these podcasts and interviews and stuff, but it's always so focused on training. I'm like, dude, you are such a weird cat. We need to come out and get video of the house. He lives in this, you drive
it's
about
a stone structure.
It's like a stone hunting lodge. It's actually kind of cool. And I'll tell you this, like he's filled it with really nice stuff. And he's got a bunch of furniture in there from like 1690s France. I mean, like it's legit. He's got nice, but it's not a lot of stuff, right? So it's like it's probably 1,500 square foot stone hunting lodge, kind of open, one big room.
He basically what happened, and we went through like a pretty extensive architecture. So he had them come out and pour a slab for him, and then he basically dug down and he built forms out of the forms, and then he had them bring out. And they basically crushed like decomposed granite rock, and then they like basically made this like mix. And so the walls are shit. I mean, what are they like? 12, like 14, 16 inches, and they like sink down, and then he's got a roof over it that he collects rainwater, and it's just one room, and you can only flush the toilet when it's raining, which I still can't figure out why. But it's really this stone structure, and he cooks everything on an open wood fire. Like there was, and like he's got it's pretty fucking. I mean, it's Spartan. But like
he's off the grid.
Yeah,
totally, it's like he collects rainwater. He's got his own generator. He actually put up
He's got solar now.
Has he got what?
Solar.
I don't think he has solar actually.
I didn't think he had solar. Yeah. I was thinking that would be his next move, but
that's a little too liberal, right? For him, he's too conservative to put up solar.
I wouldn't say he's conservative because he's kind of a libertarian.
No, he's a libertarian. I mean, I don't mean. I don't mean
like hippie green stuff.
Yeah, I don't mean morally or whatever. Yeah, I just mean he's true. He's a true libertarian.
Yeah, no, he is, which is ironic because most people that I know actually identify more as libertarians. Mm-hmm. They want less government and a little bit more freedom, which is kind of, that's kind of libertarian in a fucking, simple nutshell. But, it's kind of funny when you look at like the kind of, and I just had to do it. We just moved and I had to refile for my voting stuff. And so they were going through and they actually like give you like which party do you affiliate with. And I, fucking always affiliated with the Republican Party because my dad was a Republican. And so I was like kind of going through, and even though I've voted both sides of the aisle a few different times, I actually went back and I like pulled up the definitions for voter profiles based off of like which party you affiliate with. And I hadn't really thought about it in a long time. And because in California, you can vote for whoever you want. You don't have to vote for your party affiliation, and they'll let you vote open primaries and shit. And went through, and actually I was going through, and I was like, told my wife, I'm like, I think we're libertarians now. Yeah. She's like, really? I was like, yeah, I read the Democrat, and that's fucking not us. I read the Republican, and that's totally not us. And I read the Libertarian, and we sound like libertarians. And she's like, well, what about this? I'm like, it's a libertarian thing. She's like, what about this? I'm like, libertarian. She's like, libertarians. So that's what I identified with on my new party.
That's what I am. I think it brings the world together, man. Libertarians, because here we are. I live in the Midwest, buckle the Bible belt, right? So everybody is very like morally conservative here, socially conservative. I just came from Seattle, where everybody is the exact opposite from a moral, social standpoint, but they're all still libertarian. Right. So like you go into Seattle and it's like, weed is legal, but they have really relaxed gun laws. They have guns all over the place in Seattle. Like you probably wouldn't think that. Right. So,
that they're trying to I just read a deal that they're trying to basically huge funding, and they don't know where it's coming from, but huge funding for anti-gun lobbies in Oregon and Washington. and they're dumping huge amounts of money into candidates that will be anti-gun thing. And their goal is to ban the evil black assault rifle.
Yeah, right. So
in the deal, but yeah, but one of our coaches, she ended up leaving here and moving up to Seattle, and she's like, honestly, I don't really know what would upset people up there. She's like, honestly, and it's kind of a libertarian deal where it's like, hey, I'm not really into your fucking business. I think like that's the biggest thing, at least at my age, where we're similar age, is like, hey man, like take care of your fucking self, dude. I don't really give a shit what my neighbors
steal from me.
Yeah,
Just be a normal fucking asshole.
Yeah,
and stay away.
If you want to smoke weed in the fucking comfort of your own home, I don't give a fuck.
We don't care.
If you want
you want to marry anybody you want to marry, you want to go marry your horse for all I care. I don't care. It doesn't.
And the idea, I mean, like the gay marriage thing. I'm like, I personally think that straight people should not be allowed to get married. Why should gay people be the only ones to fucking avoid it? Well, here's my thought, dude. Like, people talk about the sanctity of marriage. I'm like, dude, the sanctity of marriage got fucking shit canned years ago. And anybody listening to it, I'm like, dude, if two men want to get married, because I mean, if you look at it, like marriage is gone far past what they look at like a religious deal. It's a legal agreement between two.
Yes, it's legal.
Why is it if I get a divorce, I have to give my wife pretty much everything, and I get to leave with 2 socks and maybe my truck? But it's fucking insane. So then you look at like health insurance. You look at all the legal ramifications of marriage, right? Based on just like health insurance, 401k, all of these things. But yet they take it back to like, oh well, the Bible says it's between a man and a woman. I'm like, well, wait a minute. Like you can't have it both. I mean, that's, and the other thing too is, and what I appreciate about the libertarian deal is they're like, our founding fathers made a very, very distinction between church and state, that they should be fucking completely separate, that religion should not enter into to the policy of the politics. But yet you have people that are entirely governed by their religion, which is fine. That's their personal decision. But like, if you go back and you look at our founding fathers, they were fucking more libertarian than anything.
Sure. And it goes both ways, right? You want to keep, they saw the problem of the Catholic Church and the power that they had in the, back in like the 1500s. That's why you had the Reformation at the time, because of the power it had politically. So I'll make one real quick point here. When it comes back to your personal view on marriage, what marriage is, the reality is we're like, wait a minute. Okay. So the federal government we've got to decide whether it's okay if there's gay marriage in the federal government. Whoa, you're asking the wrong question. Why does the federal government get to define marriage in the first place? That's the question. Not why do they get to choose if gay marriage is real marriage and straight marriage is whatever, right? It's like, hold on. The federal government shouldn't get to define marriage in the first place. That has nothing to do with the federal government, right? So
I think that they were defining it because the idea of a legal civil union between two people where you effectively share assets, and everything goes back to money. It's tax ramifications, right? So then
that's exactly right.
So why is it that you can block one? Sorry to cut you off, but like, why is it block it? And like, to me, that was the one thing I could never figure out. I'm like,
sure.
Well, if we've already decided that marriage is a union, like, because dude, you get married by you go to a church, then you have to go down to City Hall and you get married, by a justice of the peace or whatever it is to make it an official marriage. So it's like, it makes no sense to me. Like, and then the other one too is, and if you look at a lot of libertarian stuff, I mean, like the gun laws, they were like, you want to hunt, you want to own guns, that's fine, be a responsible person. So it's almost like putting the IOTAs back on the individual instead of this idea that we have to create a system of laws to parent people to, and it's like, fucking A, dude. Yep. Like, do we need any more laws? And my favorite is all of our cop friends. I ask them whenever I see these laws come out, they don't even know what the fucking law is.
Sure. What are you talking about?
One of our good friends is one of the sergeants for Huntington. He like came over and I was like, oh shit, did you see old Jerry Brown signing all these new gun laws? He's like, what? Well, which ones? And I like read it to him. He's like, honestly, I didn't even know that was illegal. He's like, dude, he goes, do you know how many fucking different laws are like, he goes, dude, there's entire volumes. He goes,
he couldn't keep up with them.
Yeah. He's like, how are we supposed to even keep up with half of this stuff? I mean, he's like, I just go for the basic one. Are you doing harm to another person? Are you stealing property? And are you burning any shit in the street?
Yeah.
If the answer is no, we're probably just going to let you slide. Unless some guy has got to write some fucking tickets. Don't go 100 on Newport Boulevard. But it just was ironic to me that I had to go back and actually re-look at like not only the political stance of this country, but like the political kind of ideology of each of these parties and realize that, like, fuck, I don't really associate or really identify with any of this shit.
Yep.
So that was kind of a wake-up call for me yesterday.
Yep, I'm the same. Yep. So, and I got my degree of my undergrad is in social sciences, so I took a lot of political science stuff. I became very disenfranchised with politics when you take classes in that stuff and you realize what you're dealing with here. But I'm kind of the same way. I just, I've got my personal beliefs. I just don't think that my personal beliefs are necessarily, I need the government, the federal government. Again, if you want to live in a state, if a state wants to make something, I got no problem with that. I actually would rather have the state government have a little more power anyway, that compared to the federal government. I'm not into anarchy. I think the federal government provides for the defense of our country and, all the life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness that it's called to do. And in the Constitution, that all makes perfect sense. But when we start defining things in the federal government, how often does the federal government put their hands in stuff and make extra rules and it goes well? Not very often.
Well, I mean, and you make the point, like, I always think about this. At which point has anybody been involved in anything where actually more rules and more bureaucracy made anything better?
Better. That's right.
Like, I always think, like, if you like the more simple it could be, I mean, fuck, like, just like, whenever I get my taxes done and we do any of our stuff, I get on the phone and I go over with my accountant and just like listening to her talk about tax laws and ramifications of this year, I get to the point where I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. I'm like, isn't there an easier way to do this? And
yes, of course there's an easier way.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it is. Like, what about just a
national sales tax or whatever, just a standard fair tax, a national sales tax? Like, okay, what if just everything you bought had a national sales tax on it? There was no more income tax, so that for the most part, rich people buy more stuff and poor people buy less stuff. And if you want to pay less taxes this year, you buy less stuff. That's the way it works, right? But if you want it,
that makes too much
no income, that makes way too much sense, right? It's way too simple to fix this stuff. So and so if that's the case and there's no income tax, then there's no reason for the federal government to define marriage, because it doesn't matter because I don't have to file joint married income tax because there is no such thing. Right. So that's the question. The question is, I totally understand, as long as we're going to have taxes there and you're going to get taxed at a different rate if you're single or a different rate if you're married, then the federal government has to define marriage. You have to define marriage then. But if you don't ever do that in the first place, one of my favorite things about, I think it's Food Inc. Right? You guys have all seen Food Inc. And when Joel Salatin's talking in Food Inc., where he says, we get really good at the how in the United States and we're horrible at asking why, right? We get real good at feeding cows corn in feedlots. And nobody says, holy shit, why are cows eating corn in feedlots? Mm-hmm. Why do we even have feedlots? Like, feedlots are we're good at keeping cows from having E. coli while they're standing on top of each other in their own shit. Why are they standing on top of each other in their own shit? That doesn't make any sense, right? And so that's what we're good at in the U.S. We get good at fixing the how and real shitty at asking why things happen.
Well, or my other favorite one with our Obamacare, we add all these people into our insurance pool, ideally to make insurance affordable. But all that we know is that our insurance costs went through the roof. And actually, the insurance company we were at went out of business, so then we had to go with another one.
Yep.
But yet we did nothing to add a single doctor, nurse, or any other medical practitioner. So you add all these people into the pool, but yet we have this whole deal. But then also, if you don't want to do it, we get to punish you.
Yeah, you're punished.
I mean,
it's the same thing. Our insurance went from $271 a month to $800 a month.
Exactly.
For actually slightly worse
insurance.
Right? And they were like, look, it's got to be cheaper for everyone. Dude, hold on. How could it be cheaper for everyone?
Dude, ours went up, which is crazy for my wife and my 3 kids. So now we pay it's like $1,200, $1,500 a month. Yeah. And the crazy part is every time we go to the doctor, they deny us for something. So like, right. I just had to pay for dental because dental wasn't on there. Or my wife got a prescription that she was like, yeah, they didn't cover anything. I'm like, our other insurance fucking covered everything at a dental, and all of a sudden now we pay double. And I'm like, it's a fucking scam. Yep. And my dad and I argued pretty good on this. And my dad's like, everybody should have the right to insurance. I'm like, everybody has the ability to have insurance. He's like, well, it's not affordable. And I'm like, but you can't have standardized fucking medical health care with people that do not take their health care seriously.
That's right.
I remember when I was in Norway and Sweden and those Baltic countries, I remember sitting on a plane with a guy and he's like, I would never want to be in a pool with a bunch of Americans. You guys don't give a fuck about your health. He's like, here, people look at it as a national identity to be healthy and exercise, and they look at not being a burden on the thing. I'm like, you guys have a situation through your social regime that you guys are fucking creating burdens. And he's like, how can you have a standardized, socialized healthcare with that? And I'm like, and yet we still believe that we're a fucking democracy. We're a socialist country, dude. Social security. standardized healthcare. I mean, dude, we're socialists at fucking heart. So I think it's ironic that we don't have, more socially. We don't have a socialist. Well, we almost had Bernie Sanders. It's the irony of the Bernie Sanders thing, and I don't know if you guys saw the Democratic stuff came out. They knew that if Bernie Sanders would run against Trump, he would win, and that Hillary probably won't win, and yet they still fucking pushed Hillary to the front.
Right. Yep.
I mean, dude, did you see at the Democratic convention, half of the convention walked out, and he had to get up and stop the fucking booze when he got up and basically fucking pledged all of his allegiance. So pretty interesting, dude. I mean, these are interesting times and things that. I mean, but I always love going on political talks. We should just call this. Oh, I love it. Well, it's because I feel like sometimes I'm taking crazy pills. Like I posted something on Facebook yesterday. Every time I hear Donald Trump say something crazy, the only thing I'm sad about is George Carlin still isn't alive. He died 8 years ago. And so I went back and I was watching some of Carlin's videos. And literally there was one from what it was like 12 years ago, or actually I think right before he died. And I think it was before Obama got in. And he was, it was as true today. He's like, you guys think you have a fucking choice? You don't have a choice. You guys are 100% puppets by what the fucking rich people and the people that are controlling this country want you to do, and it's a fucking illusion. And so I posted it on Facebook, and people were like, how long ago was this? I'm like, dude, it's for the same thing that, the worst thing to ever happen to politics was Jon Stewart getting off the air. I mean,
the only guy that I actually called bullshit.
Dude, right? Politicians were fucking scared to death of Jon Stewart lambasting them on the Daily Show. And, they're trying to pull that dude back just to have a fucking barometer. I know a lot of people don't like him. I think he's fucking great.
Oh, it's hilarious.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And you know why? Because he's actually I think people get so caught up in the hoopla on this. I mean, I have a bunch of friends that are big Trump supporters, and my comment to them is, can you give me at least any policy that he's come out with, like anything concrete, because people ask him how you fix it. I'm going to make it great. Trust me, it's going to be beautiful. That's not a policy. That's that's kind of a grandiose statement. So anytime people are like, "Oh, Trump, make America great," I'm like, "Well, can you tell me how he's going to make America great?"
Yeah, it's a pep rally. It's a pep rally from high school.
I'm like, and I'm not insulting the guy. I'm like, the fact that he didn't release his tax returns to me is fucking shady, seeing as every other, presidential candidate in history has released their tax return since we've had the tax returns in the 30s, but he didn't release them. So why doesn't he release his tax returns? That's kind of weird to me.
Yep.
Strangely enough, he's probably going to win because people don't trust Hillary Clinton.
Who knows?
And you know what? And we could have ended up with a socialist president with Bernie Sanders, but the Democratic National Convention completely fucking fried him. And they have all those emails and all those fucking dude. They have recordings of people calling the Democratic Party, leaving voicemails. Why the fuck are you helping Bernie Sanders? He's it's we're in a fucked up place, dude. And I don't really know how this whole thing's going to go down. What do you guys think? Oh, I'm sorry, I've talked too much. You guys are just smiling.
Well, you haven't taken it inhaled. I didn't know your lung could.
I know. I like.
That's what you call it. Tangent.
Honestly, dude, the machine will just keep rolling.
Yeah, I mean,
it's what I've said for fucking months.
Does it really matter who's at the head of this thing? That the power, the true power of this thing, really rests behind the throne. That the guys like Ryan, who's the head of the speaker. I mean, that's where the real party lies in terms of that. I mean, but yet, and then they put a guy like Trump in, and they just fucking stonewall the shit out of him, and he doesn't get anything done for 4 years.
Sure.
They put in Hillary, and they do the same shit.
Yep.
I mean,
it's the problem having a polarized Congress. I just think
that this shit has happened in the past. Just the accessibility to information globally, and how
do you know when the last
elaborate the media is? That something this ridiculous has had to have happened in the past.
Do you know when the last time we elected a president that did not have any political experience? Do you know what it was?
No. Civil War.
No, Dwight Eisenhower. He basically. Fucking leader of our entire military. They brought him in and he ran, and he was actually a great president. Mm-hmm. So I mean, but look at what he did. I mean, his military service and what he did, and like his ideals, and really he was like an honorable person. Now we're in a situation where fucking potentially the next president of the United States was on WWE body slamming Vince McMahon. And I mean, it's like, dude, I'm just wondering if this is what was the movie Idiocracy? I feel like we're there. I mean, we're going to start watering the lawn with fucking Ted every day.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you though. I mean, I don't really know if we'll ever have the ability to have a third party candidate, but I'll tell you, having a third party candidate would probably shake the shit up a little bit.
It would. We've got to be going that direction, and it'll probably be the libertarians, but it may not be. But a third party will eventually shake it up. That's what it's going to have to take. And I think most of our generation, it's we're kind of on the older end of that spectrum, but most of that kind of 25 to 40 year range, I think, is at the point where they're going, okay, I'm not in the encampment of either Democrats or Republicans. Like, I don't know what I am, but I'm not one of those, right? And so for us, we can go like, well, we're libertarian. And usually when you can walk people through it, they go, I think I might be libertarian too. Like, yeah, but a libertarian can't win. So I'm like, look, man, I cannot vote for the lesser of two evils. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to vote for the lesser of two evils, right? I'm going to vote for, and my guy will probably lose. That's fine. I at least can go to bed at night going, I didn't vote for the lesser of two evils. I'm not going to make that decision.
If you think about it, you basically have a situation where you look at it and you're like, okay, the Democratic Convention is coming out with this whole, and I just watched Biden's whole deal and Obama, and all it is about vote for Hillary because Trump's a disaster. That was their whole platform. And then I loved when Obama got up and said, that Hillary Clinton is far more qualified to run this thing than Bill and myself. And I thought that was, whoever his speech writer is
crush it.
Obama could fucking deliver. I mean, that's the one thing. I mean, the dude's a good speaker, but and then you got Trump on the other side, where fuck, dude, all they are is talking about how irresponsible Hillary is and how she fucked up. All of these things that she's done. I mean, it's like. And the fact that like they're playing on this idea of like, don't vote for this person or vote for me because you don't want this person in power, instead of being like, I'm a candidate that's going to fucking hopefully right the ship. And these are the problems that we see in the country and like this. I mean, it's fucked. And you know what, as a parent, I constantly have to look at this thing between, my dad told me this years ago that, as a parent, you almost have to look at the decisions that you're making, how they are going to affect your child. Are you leaving this earth a better place? And, that was something that, you sit there and you look at.
Going back to Carlin, it's the illusion of control, bro. It's the illusion of control.
100% illusion of control. And I think the problem is that people feel that they can't make it, it's so far gone, there's no way for us to be able to do anything. So therefore I'll just fucking tap out, which while Carlin was amazing and a hilarious dude, the comment that he said is, I just fucking, back out. Now I sit in the audience eating popcorn, making commentaries about the fucking sideshow. And to me, while that's pretty hilarious, that's a terrible fucking position to take.
Sure.
Like, hey, you're just going to divorce yourself of all reality. So I'm not going to have an opinion anymore because I can't do anything. And I think that's how a lot of people feel. And I think that's kind of popped out a little bit. While I appreciated it, I was kind of bummed. I'm like, fuck, like if in today's day, George Carlin could probably fucking get up and win. Fuck, dude, like we're talking about writing in The Rock. Dwayne Johnson, dude, he might win 30% of the fucking deal. Dude, how hilarious would it be?
100% of this.
Yeah, dude, if The Rock's on I'll write it in The Rock.
Likable.
Yeah. Fuck, dude. Yeah, no, it definitely was funny. I never really identified myself as that until I went back and read all the party kind of, pros and cons in this. The deal with abortion is, another interesting one. You're like, hey, man, it doesn't work for me personally, and I don't subscribe to it, but it doesn't mean that, we should fucking outlaw people from doing it. People should make their own decisions. It's like you kind of take a step back and you're like, hey, you know what? We need less government. We need more people to take some fucking social responsibility for themselves. I'm like, if there's a party with that, I want to identify with that one. So
yeah, ultimately, when you think about it, we're probably all kindred spirits here, the four of us. Like, my biggest pet peeve on earth is laziness and people who don't take personal responsibility, right? And so ultimately, I just want people that'll stand for, just like you said, social responsibility. Can we just be responsible and take responsibility for our actions here, right? And you talk about raising your kids. We homeschool our kids, and that kind of idiocracy sort of idea, like of the movie, that's kind of a prophetic movie. But the reality is that there's two-sided spectrum to that. One of that is, man, it appears we're gonna have a really shitty world for our kids to come up in. But two, there's a lot of room at the top. There's a lot of room at the top for your kids, right? So if you do well with your kids, it's like, man, I was a junior high teacher for 10 years. We won't even get into that. Like, the degradation I saw in a decade of being a public school teacher was tremendous. We homeschool our kids now. You don't become a public school teacher being pro homeschool. But 10 years of public school teaching, I was like, I'm going to teach my kids. And we were in a great district, right? We were in one of the one of the hardest districts to move in to get your kids into. And I still thought, like, holy shit, this is not going well.
Well, I mean, I think what people also realize too, and it's like just like anything, is you can't trust school alone to educate your child, just like you can't hope to send them there and be like, hey, I'm gonna send my I'm gonna send my kid off to learn how to fucking play football from the football coach. Mm-hmm. It's almost like you got to supplement everything. Like I know for us, like my little girls go to a really good Montessori school.
Oh yeah.
But, and dude, I did my master's in education, and it was amazing. We had to analyze grant proposals for charter schools, and every one of them followed the Montessori model. So I knew when I had kids, they'd go to Montessori when they were cool. But really, like, what do we work on today? What's the curriculum? Are they coming home? Are we reinforcing it? If I don't sit there and teach my daughters to write and this, I mean, I remember 2 years ago when we went in, my daughters are almost 5. I remember the teacher being like, your one daughter's really struggling with writing. And I'm like, really? That's ironic because we work on it all the time and her writing's pretty good. And she was like, well, she's really struggling. And I was like, do you know she's left-handed? The teacher's like, no, I did not know she was left-handed. And I'm like, put the pencil in her left hand, because my other daughter, I have twins. One's right-handed and one's left-handed. Sure enough, I get a call like probably 2 weeks later, and she's like, totally fucked that one up. Yeah. And so, I mean, as a parent, like I had already, figured out which one. I was actually stoked one's left-handed, one's right-handed. That means they're fucking good beach volleyball players or tennis players. There you go. but like, that type of observation as a parent, and then like working on reading and like doing all the little things. I mean, to me, like, the school is almost where they go to, like, for social interaction and all these other things. Sure. The education part comes from me and what I provide for them and the opportunities I provide for them. And fucking sitting them down in front of a TV so they watch a bunch of stuff is fucking not learning. So
nope. Agreed. Excellent.
I think it was a great podcast.
I do have one question. I feel is relevant. So you said you had 110 starting strength coaches. So my question is, how big is your starting strength staff that Rippetoe entrusts with your information to deliver it to his standard? And you have a very high barrier of entry for people to even call themselves a starting strength coach.
Yeah, there's about 7 of us that staff the seminars. Is that what you're asking? So
and we're there at every one.
Yeah, your process for kind of getting and trusting those 7.
Yeah, so remember, Rip has no kids and is not married. So
right.
Rip's child is starting strength, and his fucking mistress is going on the road and having weird drinking contests without a shirt on and shit.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's I mean, it's always weird when you're a staff member and you're trying to talk about what separates the staff members from all the rest of the coaches. That I'll say this: there is not a starting strength coach in the world of the 110-ish that I would not trust to train my family, to train my dad who has Parkinson's disease, or my wife. I would train I would trust every. They're all incredible coaches. Of those 110, you've got some exceptional people that bring different things from different backgrounds. Of those 110, we have 2 or 3 that are medical doctors, that are surgeons, that are top-notch engineers. We got a guy that's an engineer for Delta. My strength background and business background that I've come out of. So what he's really done, what Rip has done, is he's pieced together for the staff coaches who bring something to the table that nobody else was able to bring. Right, so I'm the strong one, right? So I'm the guy that was like, I'm the, and I'm the guy that ran the real successful business. And so that's kind of the void that I fill. Then we've got guys that are a surgeon. We've got a guy that's a general medical doctor. We've got a guy that's an engineer. So when you're teaching physics or anything, and then what you've got to do is to really become a staff member. People ask me this all the time and say, how do I become a staff member? Well, all of us actually attended the seminar. At one point, we were actually all sitting out there in the audience doing the seminar, and you better crush it. I mean, we went in, we crushed it. We took the essay. I got a 99 on the essay, which at the time was the highest score in the history of the test. I think we've had a couple hundred since then. But, that's what you got to do. You can't take the test and get a 72 and be a staff member. He's not going to let somebody it's going to be somebody that absolutely crushes this, and that becomes staff member. So,
Rip's a gatekeeper. And I think that's something like we've always talked about is that, people are going to go out and they're going to, be able to teach the method and hold themselves out as this. They got to be really good. I mean, they got to be fucking all-stars. They can't be average, because then it just makes you look average.
So are there any... Oh, sorry.
I was just going to say, ultimately, I'm sure everybody's probably read this stuff about why Rip left CrossFit. But ultimately, Rip left CrossFit because he felt like CrossFit didn't have a good handle on quality control, right? That's really what it came down to. When it came down to the basic affiliate that anybody could pay a certain, you pay your $3,000 affiliate fee, you pass your level 1, congratulations, you're a gym. Now, the thing is, what's funny about that is CrossFit has taken this libertarian mentality to come back to the political standpoint. They've taken a libertarian mentality. Look, the weak are going to get eaten, the strong are going to rise, the cream's going to rise to the top, and that's really essentially what we've seen. You see these, you got this influx of shitty CrossFit gyms the last several years, and now you're starting to see those over the last 18 months really start to die out, and the good ones kind of, the cream rises to the top. But I think Rip wanted his hands in it enough to go, look, I don't want to let that happen. I don't want anybody to hire a starting strength coach and have there be a shitty starting. So there isn't one. There isn't a bad starting strength coach. They're all incredible. And so he was able to maintain this incredible level of quality control. We're not going to drop the standard. As a matter of fact, over time, the standard has continued to go up. What was a test that would have gotten a 95% or 100% 4 years ago now would get a 75. Because the standard has continued to go up, right? So,
yeah. Are there any parallels or pillars that you've been able to pick out that are consistent among the different backgrounds of these 7?
We've all done the program. We're all strong. I mean, look, how good of a coach can you be if you haven't? When you ask somebody to keep putting 5 pounds on the bar every single time, like when if you've taken a guy who's, again, a normal 40-year-old guy who's never trained in his life, and he's putting 335 or 340 on the bar for 3 sets of 5, and it's brutal. And he gets all 15 reps. He gets all 3 sets of 5, but it's RPE 9.5, RPE 10 sort of stuff. And you go, hey, come back Wednesday. Let's do it again, but let's put 5 pounds on the bar. You better know what that feels like. Because being a good coach part of it is about being able to sympathize with what they're going through, right? When your athletes are training in 105-degree heat and you've never trained in 105-degree heat, you have no clue what you're asking. That was my biggest deal with football coaches growing up, is that you have these fat-ass 410-pound football coaches making you run suicide sprints on the hill, and they've never run a suicide sprint. Like, look, man, get out.
That's why, for me, I have a hard time with when people say coach. People are like, hey, coach. I'm like, I got this weird feeling about the term coach. Like, why is that? I'm like, this coach is usually the guy that was standing in his fucking short-ass shorts with his whistle screaming at me while I was busting my ass. And I'm like,
water is weakness.
Yeah.
Sure.
That was my freshman my varsity football coach in high school told us that water was weakness.
Sure.
And that, we actually did conditioning before practice, and we conditioned after practice. And at various times during practice, we would condition. And it was.
But you got to the NFL, so it worked.
Yeah. Why aren't we doing this?
Obviously, because of the incredible coaching.
This is the problem, is that people look at it and you're like, I look at it like I somehow succeeded in spite of that shit.
Sure.
But and that's part of my thing where people are like, coach, I'm like, you can fucking call me John. Like, I still in my mind still think I'm an athlete, but I think like the day I don the fucking polyester bike shorts with the like the coach from Fast Times at Midtown High. That's the coach.
Coach all day. I'll take it.
No, you won't.
See, I'm in the same boat with the word personal trainer. I refuse. People will say like, I'm not, my trainer. Whoa, please don't call me trainer.
Animals have trainers.
Yeah, that's the dude with the Bosu ball under his arm with the polo on with the name tag that says trainer. I'm like, that's the 18-year-old kid at Planet Fitness. That's not me.
Dude, I always joke that animals have trainers. If there's a trainer, I'm like, whoa. Animals have trainers, dude. I'm here to like help you get better. I don't even know what that is. Yeah. I want to be a performance consultant. How about that?
The problem is you have problems with both the term trainer and coach, so you've got nowhere to go.
Well, it's because trainers also are fucking ATC's ankle trainers. Which to me what do they do? They tape ankles and ice and that's it. So I'm fucked on everything.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Yeah, I think Rip. I'll end with this. I think Rip has done an incredible job of. I didn't come on here to tout the greatness of starting strength. The reality is, I've been in it longer than anybody else. So I think me and Tom Campitelli are the ones that have been coaches, starting strength coaches, longer than anybody else, and staff members longer than anybody else. And I'll tell you this: Rip he's true to his word. What you see is, John and I were talking about this before the show. There's some crazy stuff about Rip. He's a nutso caricature, but that's really him. He's authentic. I'll tell you this. He loves what he does. He's generous, pays well. He is more serious about getting that information out into the masses than he is about making a buck. And he's made good money selling starting strength. There's nothing wrong with that. But the reality is the content he's produced is on a level that nobody else has put out anything that good. And so he's developed a group of people. I mean, there are thousands and thousands of people who are almost cult-like starting strength followers. And I'll tell you this, what's interesting about it is that the starting strength staff is not like that. We all come from different backgrounds. So I'm able to pull from my powerlifting background and my strongman background. And we've got people that are able to pull from their CrossFit background. And I'm not one of these guys that says every single word that's been in starting strength is 100%. It's the Bible. That's who I am. That's not it at all. I just go, look, this is the best content that's ever been put out there, right? There's one or two little things that Rippetoe and I disagree about, but ultimately I agree more with him than anybody else I've ever heard. And his content's been incredible. And it's obviously now stood the test of time. The first edition of Starting Strength came out in 2005. So we're going 11 years now. It's 11 years. It's been the number one best-selling fitness book on Amazon. You go to Amazon right now, it's number one, right? And it has been. So that says something, right? Body for Life was huge. It came and went in 2 years. We all remember Body for Life back in the late 90s, right? This has still stood the test of time now for over a decade. And that has to say something. And so he's been able to keep the standard extremely high and even continue to increase it and make it better. And he's really put something great out there. The seminars are great. Lots of people come take the seminars just for the info. You don't have to take the seminar just to be a coach. The info is incredible and the content is great. And I was already an elite level powerlifter and professional strongman when I took it for the first time, and I still went and had my mind blown. And I've always been a student of the game. I mean, I've read 2 books a week and have for years and years and years. I've read everything that I can get my hands on, and I still showed up and was like, oh my God, this is some of the physics and biomechanics that he's doing. Nobody's ever done this before. And so it's a pretty amazing organization to work for sure.
Well, I mean, that's a solid testament to Rip. But if people want to learn more about you, Matt, or even poke around Rip stuff, put people in the right direction. Where do they go?
Yeah, sure. So I'm easy because I'm Reynolds Strong on everything. So my website is reynoldsstrong.com. If you want to find out about my online coaching, I also do a lot of business consulting, again, from the success we had in the gym industry back there. You can find out really everything you need to know at reynoldsstrong.com. And then I'm Reynolds Strong on all the social media platforms on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, all that kind of stuff on there. And then startingstrength.com. Or Starting Strength. That's startingstrength.com will give you everything you know about Starting Strength, and startingstrength.org will help you find a good Starting Strength coach in your area. So they've got all the Starting Strength coaches listed there by map and state and all that sort of fun stuff. So thanks for having me on, guys. I really appreciate it.
No, Matt, it was great, man.
Yeah, no, it was our pleasure. Thank you very much. I'm glad we got to connect with you and find another kindred spirit. It's always cool when we have people on podcasts where, really, you can kind of I can think of so many people that we've had on where I was like, oh shit, this is kind of neat. And then you end up connecting with them. You're like, how the fuck haven't we been friends?
Yeah, sure.
I mean, that's the hilarious part. I could think of 20 people where I'm like, fuck, how come I'm so sad I just met you now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where were you 10 years ago?
We might die soon. So
yeah.
No, we'll connect for sure. So you're outside of San Diego? Is that where you guys are?
Newport Beach, south of LA, between LA and San Diego.
Okay. We'll connect after the show, but I'm actually in LA in 2 or 3 weeks. So we'll see what's going on out there. So kind of third week of August. So
what, you guys got a seminar?
Yeah, we've got a seminar. I'm actually not working at this time. I'm actually doing the Art of Charm podcast. Those guys, the Art of Charm's a big 5 million download a month podcast. And one of their guys is one of my clients. I'm going to come out and work with him on some barbell training and work on some of that kind of stuff and come hang out at the seminar. But yeah, we've got a seminar out there at Horn Strength, which is just outside of LAX, so right really close to LAX. We're going to do it.
Yeah, we're about 50 minutes from LAX.
It's really only about 30 miles. But it could be 20 minutes or it could be 3 hours.
Yeah, but that drive south of LA, I love it, man. You get out there on the PCH and it's beautiful. You get going. That's the way you guys are, right? You're just south of LA?
Yeah, we're south of LA, but you're talking Long Beach and it's a fucking shithole.
I got you. I still love that. Hey,
it looks nice on the coast, though.
Where do I live? Where do I live? I live in Missouri.
I know, but at least in Missouri there was open space. That's fucking getting me.
Concrete jungle, man, from LA to San Diego.
Well, the other day I was sitting on the 405 and I counted 7 lanes either side, and it was bumper to bumper in every one. And I'm just sitting there, I'm like, 7 fucking lanes. It's 14 lanes of traffic. It's bumper to bumper everywhere. Yeah, and it was a Saturday at noon. Yep. And there was no accident. Nothing. I literally was like, there better be some fucking dead body. And sure enough, nothing. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
So we got going for us. Well, cool, man. Thank you.
All right, Matt. Take care, buddy.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one. Thanks for having me
on. Now it's time for you to empower your performance. Coach Matt Reynolds can be found all over social media under his stage name at Reynolds Strong. And if you've never heard of Starting Strength, then you've never actually Googled how to get strong. You can always donate to the Mark Rippetoe Blue Cheese and Wine Relief Fund by buying his book on Amazon. And don't forget, people, Wade's Army's 5th annual Wade's Day campaign has officially kicked off. From now until November 12th, we will be honoring the brave pediatric cancer patients battling neuroblastoma, a tumor derived from immature nerve cells. For 2016, we're embracing their valor and highlighting their nerves of steel. Join the fight against neuroblastoma and help us reach our goal of fundraising $125,000. Enlist today at wadesarmy.org by clicking the Donate Now badge and claim your limited edition Wades Army uniform. Every Army needs a uniform. Until next time, bye!